Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's live broadcast. It is 7:30 p.m. here on the East Coast, 6:30 p.m. Central, and we are live here on YouTube talking about this major winter storm here that we have coming in to Georgia here. We're actually starting to see a little bit of rainfall starting to come through. We had a little bit of rainfall move through. We've got some more that's going to be coming over from Alabama, and then we're going to be keeping a very close eye this evening into the overnight as that cold air will begin moving in from the northeast, and we are expecting the precipitation and cold air to kind of meet up here later this evening into the overnight hours, and what will be rain will quickly change over to some freezing rain later this evening and then throughout much of the day tomorrow. So if you're just joining us, be sure to go ahead and hit that like button for me. That kind of helps the algorithm out, lets people know that we are here watching it. So if you can go ahead, hit that like button. You can also share this broadcast, share it out on your Facebook page, TikTok, Twitter, whatever. Again, just to kind of help get the word out that we are live. We're going to be kind of detailing in here a little bit later this evening on what some of the expectations are here for where I'm at, which is the Atlanta, Georgia area. But we'll also be taking a look, obviously, at what's going on, because that can kind of help give us an idea as to maybe some of the impacts that we can expect here in Georgia. It's been a very long day for many people, really from Texas all the way now spreading into, Virginia, West Virginia. As you can see just how expansive that this winter storm is, stretching over 1,500 miles from Texas all the way, now getting basically almost to the Atlantic Ocean over here. We're starting to see some of this precipitation even reaching all the way over to Richmond and closing in Virginia Beach. And we're going to see a resurgence of precipitation here tonight as a lot of this moisture has been coming from the Pacific Ocean, actually, and we will start seeing precipitation now being pulled in from the Gulf of Mexico. So definitely a lot is going to be taking place here in the next few hours. Austin, Allie, great to see you guys on here. Thanks for hopping in the chat. Yeah, exactly. Like I was saying, we do have some lighter precipitation that is moving into Georgia here. We can see here stretching from now East Atlanta up toward Jefferson, Athens. So that is some of that precipitation that's moving through. Again, it's coming down basically as just rain right now, as temperatures are still above freezing. Let's see what those temperatures are real quick. So yeah, temperatures about 39 degrees out there in Monroe. So, but the cold air is coming in. It's already 32 degrees here, 33 around Greenville. So this is that cold air that's starting to come down. We're at 34 already, just south of Toccoa. So temperatures are starting to fall here. So as those temperatures continue to drop, the moisture will move in this evening here over the next couple of hours, and that's when we'll start to see our freezing rain taking place, especially as we approach 10, 11 o'clock here, probably another 3-4 hours, and then especially into overnight. I think that's when we're going to have a lot of the freezing rain really ramp up here in Georgia. Across North Georgia, we're already seeing some freezing rain going on up here in Clayton and Cleveland areas, so across far northern Georgia, where those temperatures in a lot of places are at or below freezing, we're starting to see the freezing rain. So we are ready as we can be. Yeah, I think so. The good news is that I will say is some of the latest model runs that I've been seeing have slightly come down with the ice accumulation totals, specifically kind of here for Atlanta. Over towards Stone Mountain, I think we're down to just under, right around that 0.3 of a mark, where earlier it was 0.4. The further northern suburbs, and especially the northeastern suburbs, that Lawrenceville to Athens, I think if you're south here of US 29, kind of in this area, it's going to be a little bit slightly lower ice totals than if you're north of US 29. I think that's where we're going to see that that half inch to 4/10 of an inch kind of be north of there. And then south here, I think our 78 corridor here, we're really the western side over here closer to Atlanta is probably going to be closer to maybe 2/10 to 1/4 of an inch. And then further out east, those totals will go up. So I think where we're at, we'll be right around that 3/10 of an inch here, kind of on the south side of Snellville. Snellville might be a little bit higher. Loganville, I think, will be maybe just a little over 3/10 of an inch. And then Monroe and those areas between 3/10 and 4/10 of an inch. But again, I do think the totals will be slightly lower than we were expecting, say, 24 hours ago. And that's because it's taking longer for those really cold temperatures to come in. The initial thinking yesterday was that at this point we'd be just about to get below freezing, and we're still either in right around 40 or in the upper 30s, depending on where you're at. Lawrenceville 39, Winder you're at about 37. So starting to see 37 there in Commerce. So it's really going to depend on this evening how quickly these temperatures drop this evening into the overnight, and also how much moisture we get. So the good news is there is some gaps. It's not quite like, obviously, look at this snow, just solid amount of snow coming through. Whereas we do have a little bit more, I guess you could say, gaps in some of this moisture. So some of that freezing rain, especially toward the beginning, might be more on and off before we really ramp things up overnight. So let me kind of show you guys some of the latest models as far as timing. I'm going to take off the temperatures real quick here, and then we'll kind of go through that. So, and again, if you're just joining the live stream, thanks for tuning in. I see we got some more people coming in. So definitely drop a comment if you can in the live chat. Let us know where you're watching from. An interesting feature with today is basically this little stationary front that's kind of set up. That's what this red line here and this blue line that's kind of crisscrossed over Alabama. That's basically a stationary front that's kind of gotten set up, which has prevented some of the moisture from moving east. It's kind of riding that front and moving from southwest to northeast, which is why we've seen the precipitation up in northwest Georgia and Chattanooga, but it's kind of keeping us more dry over here in much of Georgia throughout the day today and even into the first part of this evening. So as that front kind of erodes and does move east, we will see that moisture begin to move in here. So here's a look. Let me get to our latest run here. So this is kind of a look at the current situation here. So we can see we've got that freezing rain from Mississippi up through the Chattanooga area, back into Texas, and then obviously all the snow north of there. So let's kind of put this in motion. So it's really here. That's 10 p.m. So again, we'll see some rain move in tonight, but again, the current thinking is, at least for the Atlanta metro area, that we will still be above freezing. And then this is midnight, 1 a.m. So sometime in that time frame is where we really see this front kind of weaken. You can see here kind of disappears there right around midnight. And then we're going to see that big cold air push as we get into midnight to 1 a.m. So, and again, this is just a model, so it could be further south than this at this time. But again, this is just a rough estimate giving you the idea that by the overnight hours, and especially throughout the morning tomorrow, we do see that freezing rain. And that lasts through, that's 24 hours from now. 20, about 4, maybe 4 p.m. And then we'll see this big push of rain move through probably around 6, 7 o'clock. And then it will kind of clear out. And this is something, again, we're at the tail end. We might, maybe, I've been saying this for really the past 3 days, where there is a chance, not a 0% chance, there's a little bit of a chance that we could see maybe, and some of the high-resolution models are picking up on this a little bit, where we actually maybe see a brief, very brief changeover to snow if that moisture can kind of hold together there after the main front goes through. But that's, again, really low chance. But some of the models are picking up on a little surge of moisture there in Sunday evening into Monday morning. So we'll kind of have to see here if we do in fact get a brief period of snow at all or not. Definitely not out of the question. I wouldn't mind it. So that is something interesting to note. I think this one's coming out now too. Let's see what this one has. It's the latest run. So again, there comes that freezing rain, pretty much encompassing all of Atlanta. So I think this one only goes out 18 hours. Yeah. So really, in the next 7 or 8 hours, pretty much overnight tonight is when that freezing rain moves in, is what it's thinking. And then that's 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. So it's really going to be cranking by the morning when you wake up. That'll be when some of the heaviest freezing rain comes in, is what it's looking like. Is going to be right around sunrise. All right, so let's take a look at some of these totals here again. This only goes through 11 a.m. on Sunday. So by 11 a.m. Sunday morning, tomorrow morning, we're right around 0.2 of an inch in Atlanta and just over 1/4 of an inch out here in Athens. Just around 0.2 of an inch again out there near Loganville and Monroe. So, and again, we're expecting a few more hours beyond this, but the heaviest totals, I mean, do definitely stay up closer to the mountains, up toward Gainesville. I think if you're south of 85, Interstate 85, your totals should stay below 1/2 of an inch, is kind of what I'm thinking. Welcome, great to see you on the chat. Thanks for tuning in. So that's kind of what I'm thinking here as far as some of these totals. Let me show this to you so you can see it here. So this is only through the next 18 hours. So this goes through 11 noon on Sunday. So this is the newest high-resolution model run. Yes, Winter Storm Fern. That's what the Weather Channel is calling it. Yep. This is some of the newest high-resolution model run data. Again, basically showing that the highest precipitations are going to remain over northeast Georgia into upstate South Carolina, where that cold air damming will be the strongest right up against the mountains, which, again, this is good news for us down here, where our ice totals could be a little bit lower, closer to 2/10 by noon. I think we'll get a little bit more than that. I'm really thinking 3/10 is going to be right about where we're going to maybe end up at out here. Jeff, great to have you on here. Thanks for tuning in this evening. So again, this can change. This is all going to be dependent on if the cold air moves in faster this evening than currently forecast, we could see that freezing rain start earlier. But if it does take longer for that below freezing temperatures to move in, that is going to lower our overall ice accumulation totals down here in the Atlanta metro area and really limit that window from maybe midnight to 3 or 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So that's giving us maybe a 15-hour window of ice accumulation versus what we were thinking would be closer to maybe 20 to 24 hours. So that, again, less time. Hopefully the precipitation is lighter. We don't have any big bursts of precipitation because that will help us drastically. And obviously the less ice accumulation that we get would be better, a lot better for our power line situation, especially down here the closer you are to I-20. Now, the roads are still going to be completely impassable, even with just 0.2 of an inch of ice. You can't drive on that, even if you've got, big truck and stuff like that. You're gonna struggle getting around and stuff like that. So, but again, I think too, the thing that this model doesn't necessarily take into account is that rain that comes through at the tail end, any of that freezing on top of this, which could either A, bump those totals up, especially on the roads, not so much on the power lines and trees, but on the roads you could have more liquid, which will then freeze and expand. So that's something that I'm definitely concerned about as we go into Sunday night, into Monday morning. And then our wind forecast has actually slightly gone up. We're expecting, I was reading earlier this afternoon around 4 or 5 o'clock, we're expecting anywhere from 20 to 35 mile per hour wind gusts to be taking place Sunday night into Monday morning. We were thinking maybe 15 to 20 miles per hour, but we could potentially see some wind gusts getting up to 30, maybe even 35 miles per hour, especially up in the mountains. You ask how fast is it? It's been slower developing, and you can see here from this. Let me flip back over here. You can see here from this. This is here. Few hours? 1, 2, 3. So this is about around midnight. We're gonna see a big push tonight and overnight, and an increase in the amount of convection back over these areas, and that's going to then. This is what I was trying to explain earlier. What's kind of happening is we've had this frontal boundary that's kind of sitting right here, which has basically pushed all this moisture off to the northeast. But what's happening now is as that moisture kind of rides up over this front, we've got the really cold air that's kind of up here in North and South Carolina. That's going to funnel in to the northeast and eastern Georgia overnight tonight. And once that moisture meets those cold temperatures, that's when we're going to start having the freezing rain come in. So we have this huge system, all this moisture kind of riding up, and then what happens is it rides over the mountains and it basically funnels down, and that's why the precipitation, if we look closely here, I'll zoom in on this, you'll actually see the precipitation start off to our northeast, kind of here, right there around Charlotte. It expands, and then it pushes south. So it'll start in North and South Carolina from Asheville over to Asheboro, and kind of then push south and southwest into South Carolina and then through Georgia. So that's really, we're going to see it kind of come down over the mountains and push south. The question is, how far south does that get? This warm nose here of precipitation that you see in Alabama, how far north does that go? And then as well, this is tomorrow morning right around noon. You could basically see that shape where this freezing rain through Louisiana, Mississippi, western Tennessee, gets to Kentucky, and then it kind of wraps back around, almost like a fish hook, right? So how long do we keep that plume of moisture feed and be able to hold these temperatures below freezing? Because the longer that we stay below freezing tomorrow, the more ice that we're going to get. So we're really, I hate to say it, but basically we're not going to know how much ice we're going to get in total until it actually starts falling overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. But I do believe that by the time that we wake up tomorrow morning, if you wake up at 8 o'clock, there will already be ice that you will visibly be able to see on surfaces. So if you've got a deck, your deck's going to be iced over. If you look out at the trees, you'll see there will be glimmering and shining because there will be a layer of ice already on them by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. So a good bit of this is going to happen tonight while we're sleeping. And then we'll see it continue to increase throughout the day tomorrow. I think tomorrow we're going to see, tomorrow's going to be the worst of it here and also back out west, back across Mississippi. We're kind of in a little bit of a lull right now out there in Texas and Arkansas and Louisiana. Still seeing a little bit there across northern Mississippi, which is kind of where we're expecting the bullseye of the highest ice totals to occur. But I think in Georgia, we'll see some of this really begin, especially up in the mountains, probably before midnight here in the next hour or two, I think. And then that's going to push south. So I'm really keeping a close eye on these temperatures and watching them hour by hour to see how quickly we get these. I mean, at Charlotte, we're now down to 29, 28 degrees here. So we are seeing this push south. Look at these 32 degrees just north of Columbia, 32 degrees here in Greenville, 32 south of Greenville. So that's kind of where our freezing line is at right now. 33 here already around Toccoa. So we are starting to see these temperatures fall. Even out here west of Athens, it's down to 36. So there is that those microclimates that are going to influence where the freezing rain starts earlier versus later. Like even something, for example, like Stone Mountain here. Stone Mountain, the temperature difference between the bottom of the mountain and the top of the mountain, just that 1,000-foot change in elevation can equal up to maybe a 4 or 5 degree temperature difference. And so depending on what your elevation is, where you're at, if you live, up on a hill, it could be a degree or two colder there than someone that lives down in a valley, right? So that's really going to be something we have to watch very, very closely as we go through this evening. Rob, great to see you on the stream tonight. Thanks for tuning in. But great questions, guys. Keep them coming. Let's come back to our live radar here. So this is what is happening right now across Georgia. So we've got this rain. I'm going to clear off the drawing. So we've had some light rain that has been moving in. And we can see here, this is what I'm talking about already up here in North Georgia, where we're starting to see some of this rain change over to freezing rain because we've got temperatures that are supporting it between 32, 34 degrees. So we're already starting to see some of these cooler temperatures coming in, and we'll see the precipitation, I think, will be kind of on and off here the next couple hours, and then we'll see it increase as we come into midnight. We're going to really start seeing this moisture basically from this little frontal boundary here across Alabama. We'll see that spread east. throughout the evening tonight because plenty of moisture starting to stream in. But this frontal boundary here that we've kind of had set up today, this it kind of been our saving grace today a little bit. So keeping our temperatures a little warmer longer into the day and even into the evening with this little miniature warm front that's kind of set itself up. You can see, I mean, 47 degrees here in Rome, and then on the other side over here in Huntsville, it's 32. So, I mean, that's a 15-degree temperature difference just between Huntsville and Rome. You know, how far apart is it? Let's see here. From Huntsville to Rome, I mean, that's just 80 miles, and you've got a 15-degree temperature difference. So that's kind of what I'm talking about is these temperature gradients are really something else, you know. So how fast does this cold air get down here into East Atlanta, between Atlanta and Athens? Yeah, exactly, Rob. It is definitely a big temperature difference, big gradient. So we do still remain under an ice storm warning here until 10 a.m. Monday morning. 10 a.m. Monday morning. Let's take a look at some of our forecast temperatures here. I'm going to throw the winds on here too. Well, take the ones so we can actually see the temperatures. We got the 00. Yeah, so here we go. We got new model data finally coming in, the 00Z run. So we'll check back in with that. We've only got the first couple hours coming in, so we'll come back to that once that's all fully in, because that's gonna be a telltale sign here as far as some of these temperature forecasts for the next couple of days. So there's 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, and 2. So you can see Athens around 11 o'clock falls below freezing. Obviously, Atlanta takes a little bit longer. Heat island, you also have to think about the heat island effect with Atlanta. But out here where we're at, if you're east of Atlanta, again, it could be, I think it'll be right around midnight is when we'll fall below freezing. Yeah, we'll be below freezing by midnight for sure. Gwinnett County, Walton County, you're over at 31, 31, 32. A minute, let's see, go back to 11. Even by 11 o'clock, it's possible. We'll be close. But definitely by midnight. And that's honestly what is helpful for us too, is if this cold air, you know, it's not as strong, then the wedge won't hold on as long into the afternoon on Sunday, you know. So this is noon. Again, we're still below freezing at noon, especially Walton County there and Gwinnett. But over in Atlanta, you're right at 32 degrees at noon tomorrow. And look at the difference just between Atlanta and noon. 33 in Atlanta, 43. 10-degree temperature difference in about maybe 30 miles, right? So that is really quite the temperature difference. And look down at Columbus. 57 degrees in Columbus, 64 in Albany tomorrow at noon, 33 degrees in Atlanta. Almost over a 30-degree temperature difference between Albany and Atlanta. Absolutely insane. see if we get anything going on here in the next 5 hours. Yeah, so this is by midnight tonight. So you can see by midnight tonight, we're already starting to get our bit of accumulation down here, especially in Athens and northern Gwinnett County. And then, I mean, up here already in the mountains, they'll be at 1/10 of an inch before the night's over. But the good news is, our totals are definitely looking lower than they were 24 hours ago, last night when we were on here. I mean, we can handle, 1/4 of an inch of ice. Obviously, the roads will be annoying, but the power outage potential with that does pretty drastically go down 1/4 of an inch versus 1/2 of an inch. 1/4 of an inch, it'll coat the lines. There will be some power outages, especially once those winds kick up and any branches break off and hit power lines. That's where you're going to have the power outages. But with, that 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch amount, if that verifies, there is, a much higher percentage that some places won't lose power. When do you show the micro warm front in Alabama disintegrate? Good question. I believe it was basically right around midnight. Is actually midnight, 1 a.m. It's kind of going to be like a switch. I don't remember where did I do that. Was that? Oh, this is under here. Here we go. This is what I'm looking for. Okay. Okay, let's go hour by hour. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. That's midnight. 5, 6. May not be till 2 or 3 in the morning. I wish this thing would tell me time so I wouldn't have to convert it. Yeah, probably around 2 to 3 a.m. is where that feature kind of disappears. And here's the thing. So this is what's also happening. So you can see here we've got this low pressure center that's developing over the Gulf of Mexico. And we've got this right now quasi-stationary front that's over here. We've got a kind of a warm front here. That's going to lift north. And then a secondary cold front that's going to kind of sweep in. So what's going to happen overnight tonight and into the day tomorrow, I'm going to use my little drawing tool. This little warm front here is basically going to track inland. And then as it does that, all this moisture that's down here right now over like Baton Rouge in Louisiana, that's going to kind of ride up and over the mountains and spill down into North Georgia. So you can kind of see, watch that moisture plume there, kind of traverses northeast, and then it collides with the cold air right there. As the moisture is moving northeast, it collides with the cold air, and there's going to be basically this warm pocket between these two cold pockets, one to the west, one to the east. And how strong this cold pocket is to the east. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. There we go. All right. So let me rewind this for you. there's this low pressure center down here over the Gulf of Mexico, right? And we've got all this moisture that's sitting here over Louisiana right now. And this low pressure center is going to move inland overnight tonight and then through the day tomorrow. Well, as it does that, it's going to carry all this moisture, and we've got our cold air damming situation that's setting up here right now, where you see these 30, 27, 32, right? This moisture is going to run up into that cold air as this kind of spills south and west, that cold air tonight. So as that moisture moves up tonight and into the overnight, it's going to run into that cold air, and we're going to see that freezing rain develop first up in northeast Georgia. And then as we go through the overnight hours, it's going to drop, and here comes that moisture, and it basically collides with all that moisture that was earlier right now down in Alabama. And then that is where we have that collision of the moisture with the cold air, which then turns into freezing rain at the surface for us here in Georgia. And so you can see we've got a huge area of freezing rain across Arkansas, northern Louisiana, East Texas, Mississippi, and then a secondary area of the freezing rain here in the Carolinas, and then into parts of Georgia, northeast Georgia and east central Georgia, right out towards Augusta. That are basically I-20 over to I-75, 400, and north. That's where that freezing rain is going to set up. And then, as the day goes on, obviously we don't have that much data yet. We're getting new model data right now, though, so we'll have the new 00Z run here shortly, which will allow us to go beyond 18 hours on this. As the day goes on, the big question is with this warm nose, which also, by the way, there could be severe weather down in South Georgia and southern Alabama and Florida Panhandle tomorrow afternoon, even the threat for tornadoes. So the same storm system that's bringing a freezing rain, an ice storm, and a 2-foot snowstorm to, parts of the Ohio Valley in those areas, could also be bringing the threat for some tornadoes and damaging winds down south. So just shows you how strong and powerful this whole storm system is. But how warm we get tomorrow afternoon will depend what time we change from freezing rain back to rain. Does it hang on till, does it start eroding at noon? Does it wait until, later in the afternoon around 2, 3 o'clock? What about the wind? Hawkins 23. So we are expecting the winds to remain fairly light overnight, maybe up to 10 miles per hour. But then as the front approaches, we'll see the winds kind of increase here. Let me show you the wind forecast. Let me take these meters off. Let me come back over here, and we'll show you our wind forecast. Here we go. Okay, so this evening, again, we've got about 10 to 15 mile per hour winds going on out of the east. So that's where those winds are coming from. So it'll stay relatively calm here. We'll see the winds pick up a little bit up north, closer to the mountains tonight, and maybe get up closer to 15 miles per hour overnight tonight. So there will be a slight uptick in the winds, but then we'll see them kind of gradually shift back down a little bit through the morning tomorrow. That'll also start shifting to the south and southeast. Let's see how much. Let's come to the 00Z. How much do we get? We got 13 hours, so still coming in. Let me go back then. Let's go to, because we're just talking about winds here, so this probably hasn't changed a ton. So about 15 miles per hour through the overnight hours, and then we won't see them really pick up. There will be a little bit that when that front comes through, probably around 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, and we see that change. Let me see if I can go right here. This is 1 o'clock. So where that front comes through, once that comes through, there will be a brief pickup in winds. Maybe up closer to 20 miles per hour. That's 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So that front's coming through, and then we'll see some stronger winds kind of coming in, changing directions from the northwest. So Jeff says it's raining. Is it likely the power goes out tonight? No, I don't think the power will go out tonight at all. I think if the power does go out, it won't be until tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening, once we have the ice accumulated on the power lines and branches, and we've got those 15 to 20 mile per hour winds. Are we thinking not the widespread power? Yeah, I do think the threat, especially the further south you are, the closer you are to I-20, I do believe the threat for those power outages is diminishing. I don't think it's zero. I do think there will be some spotty power outages, but the further south you are from Interstate 85, the better likelihood you are to possibly keep power throughout this event. Jeff saying it is raining now in Athens, and that, I believe, is correct. It should be raining there in Athens. Yeah. Taking a look here at our live radar. So there's that rain that's kind of moving through over towards Athens and Comer. We've got these spotty rain showers here. Temperatures are definitely starting to come down here now. We're down to 36 degrees in Lawrenceville, 35 up here in Jefferson, still at about 38 degrees in Athens, 38 degrees in Monroe. So we are starting to see these temperatures starting to come down, 33, 34 in Toccoa. Seeing a little bit of the freezing rain still up there, probably coming into around Dahlonega, possibly starting to see some freezing rain. So let's come here to our composite. Yeah, so we're definitely starting to see the freezing rain starting to fill in here over northeast Georgia, upstate South Carolina. We're going to see that continue here over the next hour or two. We'll still see some more spotty rain on and off here where we're at in the Stone Mountain, Lilburn, Loganville, Monroe, those areas. The freezing rain will basically, again, be moving from north to south. So and it is going to fill in pretty quick. It is definitely going to be filling in pretty quick. It will happen really within just a couple of hours. I mean, so by the time the freezing rain fills in up here in Toccoa, it'll probably be 2 or 3 hours later. It'll be all the way down here to where we're at in Atlanta and over toward Monroe, that 78 and 29 corridor. So, but again, the good news is that today kind of panned out perfectly fine. We stayed above 40 degrees pretty much all day today. We're just now dropping into the 30s, and it's 8 o'clock. So that is the good news, is that we're still above freezing. Last night we were thinking around now is when we'd be getting to that near freezing temperature, but we're still 4 degrees above freezing. I mean, there are a couple spots that are closer. Winder, you're at about 34 degrees right now. So we'll definitely have to keep a close eye on these temperatures here the next couple hours, because if we do get a quick rush or drop in these temperatures and we have some of this moisture move over, there is that potential that we could see the freezing rain onset before midnight, possibly. So these next couple of hours here are going to be really, really critical for us here to see how fast this cold air. I mean, look at Charlotte. Charlotte's already now down into the 20s. They are down to 26. And again, yeah, this is an absolutely massive winter storm. I mean, it's literally, we have it snowing out here at Virginia Beach. From Virginia Beach, we've got snowfall in there, all the way across Virginia, and then all the way back here, basically to the Mexican border in Arizona and down here in Roswell, New Mexico, and back into Texas. So this is a absolutely massive winter storm for sure. That snow shield, just massive, and that's why in some of these areas like Cincinnati and Louisville, they're likely going to get close to that 2-foot mark of snow for sure. Absolutely. Let me clear off our drawings. And we should be live throughout most of the day tomorrow. We'll actually, if we're able to, we'll get out and try and survey the scene in the morning locally. But I know we do have a couple different storm chasers that are out here. Let me clear drawing. There we go. I'll check in on some of these. I kind of want to see what's going on up here in Dahlonega. Yeah, it's 33 degrees there in Dahlonega. So it's got a little bit of precipitation that moved in, but they are definitely dropping down their temperatures there for sure. 35 up here in Commerce, 36 in Gainesville, 34 out there in Winder, 36 in Lawrenceville, 39 in Brookhaven, 38 now in Monroe, 38 in Athens. We're starting to see some of these 20s even creep here into South Carolina. Asheville, over to Statesville, all of this is really starting to pick up on that freezing rain. Even back over toward Chattanooga. And we're seeing an influx of moisture really here across Alabama in these areas. Let me put this back into motion here. Because we're definitely seeing more moisture being pulled in from the Gulf of Mexico. And all of this moisture is eventually going to be making its way over to where we're at here in North Georgia. Meanwhile, out in Oklahoma, they're in the single digits already out there. Then back here in Texas, they're in the 20s. Dallas, Texas, dealing with freezing rain. Louisiana, another round of freezing rain headed into Mississippi there, Candace. But yeah, we've got a good little bit of moisture kind of on and off light rain showers moving in. But what's also happening here with this precipitation that's moving in, it kind of when it rains, it absorbs heat. So it removes heat from the atmosphere, which helps those temperatures to cool. That's why now that some of this rain's kind of moved through, we've seen our temperatures go down into the 30s. Here between Lawrenceville and Athens especially, pretty much down in the 30s there. Heather had texted me and said, talk about the wind earlier. But yeah, I think some of these areas, especially out towards Athens, between Athens and Gainesville, I wouldn't be surprised to see those areas easily get below the freezing mark here before midnight, for sure. My kids can't wait to see the icicles. In the morning when you wake up, you won't have. They're not going to be like big icicles. They'll be, it'll basically be a coating. There might be little icicles on, like, if you have like an outdoor table, or if you look at your mailbox or something like that, you might see some little tiny icicles forming. But really, you don't start getting icicles on stuff like that until you're closer to the really the 1/4 of an inch mark is where you'll really start seeing those icicles form. And in the morning, we'll probably be right around the 1/10 of an inch mark is kind of what I'm thinking. I think we'll wake up to about a 1/10 of an inch of ice that has accumulated, assuming that you wake up at 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. Let's take a look here. See how. Oh yeah. Okay. So we're gonna come back here. We got the new 00Z model run in through at least the first 24 hours, which is pretty much what we need. This will get us through tomorrow night. So here's the current timing as far as temperatures. So yeah, by 11 o'clock, Athens and that area is probably right at or below freezing by 11 o'clock. And then by midnight, over towards Atlanta, especially northern suburbs, all the northern suburbs will be below freezing, well below freezing. We'll be in the 20s up here in the mountains by midnight. I'm really interested to see how long this cold air sticks around. 7 a.m. noon. So it does have a decent push right around 1 o'clock, bringing Atlanta back above freezing. Athens, though, 1 o'clock, you're still at 29 to 30 degrees. 2 o'clock, still below freezing. 3 o'clock, still below. So you can see the temperature difference between Atlanta and Athens. So that's why I'm saying the further east you are, down 78, the longer you'll stay below freezing, meaning the more ice accumulation you'll get. So someone like, Kathy and us, I know you guys are out toward the Monroe area, you said. So you're much further east than I am, so I definitely expect you guys to have more ice accumulations than, say, me over here that's closer to Atlanta, because that gradient between east and west, I mean, we're talking a 7-degree temperature difference just from Atlanta over to Athens. That's 4 o'clock. Probably by 4 o'clock you're above freezing. From 4 to 8. So that takes for 8. So, I mean, it's got Atlanta getting up to 44 degrees. But Athens is going to struggle to get above freezing. That goes through 9. And then there's the big shot of cold air coming tomorrow night. Let's take a look at that. Any new information regarding the potential winter precipitation for next weekend? The 18Z GFS came out 2 hour and a half ago. So let's kind of take a look at that, because this will also show us some of those longer term. Real quick before I talk about that, I do want to also remind us that even beyond this event on Monday, some areas may not get above freezing, especially northwest Georgia it's going to be interesting because when the wedge is set up, it's going to be more over here that stays below freezing. But once that front comes through on Monday, um, Atlanta may not get above freezing, so Gwinnett County, Walton County may get to like 35 Monday afternoon, and then it will quickly drop back below freezing down into the teens. We're talking 15 degrees, maybe 15, 14 degrees Tuesday morning. And then Tuesday, we're looking getting up close to 40 and then dropping back down. So I'm thinking Tuesday, especially if our ice totals do stay lower, Tuesday we might be able to pretty much get most of it melted by Tuesday and then be really good to go by Wednesday. And then as far as precipitation, so we've got our event here tomorrow. 7 a.m. This is, and then here comes the front, goes through cold air. And that's where I think some of our strongest winds will be Monday morning between 4 a.m. and 10 a.m., especially around 4 a.m. on Monday morning. That's when we're going to have some of those strongest winds. Do you think grapple is possible in this? I do think in some places, Rob, there could be some grapple that falls, especially when we're where that changeover from freezing rain to rain happens. There could be a little bit that falls in there. I think a lot of the precipitation. So the precipitation for at least next weekend has pretty much disappeared. And that's why we don't get super excited about seeing snow a week out on some of these models. Because one run it's there, and then the next run it's not, or it's way south. Here's the precipitation, but it's way south on Saturday. Not seeing any sort of snowfall with it into the weekend, at least on this particular run from earlier today. So, good question there, Kathy. So as of right now, it's still too early to know if there's going to be any sort of secondary snowfall toward the end of this month here, around January 31st or so. But what we do know is we're still going to see freezing rain tomorrow here in Georgia. But the good news is it does look like the totals are starting to come down. That warm nose hopefully will win out over the cold tomorrow afternoon. And this can be hopefully a minimally impactful event for us. I still think up in North Georgia, Gainesville and North, I think that's where the bad icing is going to be. Lake Lanier and points north. I think down here where we're at, Snellville, Lawrenceville, Monroe, I think we're hopefully going to luck out with this and get around a quarter of an inch or so, quarter, 3/10 of an inch. But hopefully on Tuesday, if those temperatures can warm up, get the sun out a good bit, which that's the good news, is not supposed to be like cloudy and overcast after this. We should see a good bit of sunshine on Monday and Tuesday. So it's 8:30 now. We've been live for about an hour. And definitely seeing some of these temperatures in the last hour since we've been live have definitely come down. Sitting at the mid-30s here along US 29, upper 30s along US 78. And then lower 30s once you get north, like up to Gainesville, Commerce, 34, 33, Cornelia, 34, Toccoa, 34 up there in Clemson. And I'm also kind of hoping that the precipitation, at least for this area here where we're at, I'm hoping it can stay kind of spotty like this overnight, where it's not, where maybe it won't fill completely in and just be constant freezing rain. Because that's what's happening down here in Louisiana, right? You can see it's expanding, it's growing, it's filling in. That surge of moisture coming out of the Gulf, that warm air advection pulling all that moisture in off of the Gulf of Mexico, heading northeast. So this plume of moisture basically that's right down here, this is the big question. See how strong some of these storms are down here. If this intensity kind of stays as it moves over Atlanta, that is going to be what gives us those bursts of heavy, potentially heavy freezing rain. And that's going to be the other thing is if we do get some higher accumulation rates, some heavier banding, like kind of like we're seeing down here, just imagine this being over northeast Georgia, right? And it all being below 32 degrees. That's where you get those heavy freezing rain amounts, is when you have basically a stronger thunderstorm in the upper atmosphere dropping a lot of rain. Then you can get quicker and higher freezing rain accumulation totals in a short period of time. I'm sorry, I forgot to flip it back over for you guys. Here we go. So, like I was saying, all this moisture that's down here in southern Alabama and southern Mississippi, see these bright reds and yellows? These are actually some strong thunderstorms right now, kind of coming into this area. 60 degrees down there. So, but this moisture, this basically pocket of moisture eventually is going to, overnight tonight, make its way up. And if it's still fairly strong when it reaches northeast Georgia, that's where we could have those bursts of where we get heavier rain, which then increases the rain rate of freezing rain and accumulation. Catherine Davis asks, what is grapple? Basically, grapple, it looks like it's not sleet. It's almost more like frozen. It almost looks like little miniature hail. So you basically have a raindrop, and around the outside of the raindrop, you have like a layer of ice. Almost think of a dipping dot. That's really the easiest way for me to explain grapple. It looks like a white dipping dot. Whereas sleet typically is, usually it's more clear. And grapple can kind of form where you have these stronger storms like this, and that rain, it's like those big raindrops fall through that freezing layer of air and drop and basically stick right to the ground. It's almost like the raindrop gets coated in a thin layer of snow, you know? I'm trying to remember. I think it was maybe the storm, not in 2014, maybe in 2021 when we had that snow. I think we got a little bit of grapple with that one. Yeah, exactly. It's like it has that like frosted look to it. It's like frosted glass almost. Here we go. Give me just a second. I have an excellent little example here for you of sleet versus grapple. Okay. Let me come full screen here. So, sleet is almost like something like this, right? It's clear, it's transparent. Think about like this little tiny thing on top, right? It's like a little sleet pellet. And then grapple is almost more like a white substance where it has like a coating, so it's not transparent, it's not see-through, but they look similar. They're both like little pellets. So a little meteorology 101 there for you guys. Definitely starting to see this freezing rain really filling back in here across northern Louisiana, back in Texas. And seeing, look at the snow up here across northern North Carolina there. $14 up there around Cincinnati. Dew point of 8. Still in the 40s over there in Alabama, though. Mid 40s. All right. Let's take a look. Let's talk about some of our maximum wind gusts that we might be seeing, because we were talking about wind earlier. So let me share this with you guys, so we can kind of time this out as well, because the winds may only be 10 or 15 miles per hour, but we are going to see some strong wind gusts as we go into Sunday morning and Sunday evening. So this is Sunday morning at 7 a.m. Wow. We're at about maybe up to 29 mile per hour wind gusts, and about 25 maybe over there in Athens. And then as we get into Sunday afternoon, this is where that front's kind of moving through here. You can see we're 30, close to 35 in Atlanta, over about 30 in Athens. Up here in the mountains, we could actually see some wind gusts of 50, maybe even 60 miles per hour in some of those mountains. So where that ice accumulates on those trees and those power lines, that's where we're going to have the widespread power outages up here in North and Northeast Georgia. And then east of Athens, could see some 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts Sunday evening. And then even through the morning on Monday, we'll still be around 25, 30. We'll see that pick up again around sunrise, getting back up over 30. Still really strong up here in the mountains, closer to 40 to 50. But we're going to have those strong winds and wind gusts throughout the day on Monday. And that's why I'm saying Sunday night into Monday morning is when I think if folks are going to lose power, that's when it's going to be. It's going to be really after 7 p.m. Sunday when we get back up over 30 miles per hour, and then through a good part of the day on Monday, even into Monday afternoon. There's 7 p.m. Monday night, still over 30, and then it's not till Tuesday where we have those winds kind of calm down a little bit on Tuesday. So that is something that we'll obviously have to keep a close eye on. What is the temperature in Charlotte? It's been dropping like a rock just since you've been on the air. Yes, it has. So Charlotte, we are now sitting at about 26, 27 degrees just on the northwest side up near Gastonia, closer to 24. Wow, up where my parents are at in that area, it's like 20 degrees already up there. So this is what we're talking about. 19 over here in Asheboro, 23 in Troy. So all this cold air that's up here in North Carolina, this is what's all going to be spilling down our way here as we go through this evening. So it is definitely cold, and we're seeing this freezing rain here filling in on the western suburbs of Charlotte, up here north of Charlotte, High Point, got some freezing rain. Asheville sitting at about 27 degrees and getting freezing rain. Even down here in Anderson, Greenville, you're now below freezing at about 30 to 32 degrees, depending on where you're at. So we're definitely seeing these temperatures getting down into the 20s for much of North Carolina now. So that cold air is really starting to pick up here. I mean, we're in the teens up here. Lynchburg, about 13 degrees up there in Lynchburg. And then in the 20s and low 30s, right around 30 up here in much of Tennessee. Seeing a lot of freezing rain right now here in Tennessee. Pretty much most of the eastern two-thirds of the state getting in on that freezing rain. And then that extending back here into northern Mississippi and back through much of Louisiana. And we're seeing a lot of sleet and freezing rain really starting to build in here in Texas. And look at that snow shield there. This is what we were talking about. We were expecting this to happen tonight where this whole storm system was really just going to really honestly intensify tonight with this developing low. That low pressure has already dropped about 3 millibars in strength. It was about 1,012 millibars when I started this live stream, and now it's down to about 1,009. So we've seen a 3 millibar drop in that pressure there already here just in a little over an hour, maybe. So we do have an intensifying low pressure system down here in the Gulf of Mexico, which is kind of feeding it. And also, Rob had mentioned we were on a live stream earlier and we were taking a look at the big picture, because sometimes we have to take a look at the big picture to understand why our storm system is intensifying. And so one thing that we like to look at is what we call our troughs and ridges. You'll hear about that, troughs and ridges. So we have a really big trough right here. This is what's been feeding our storm system thus far, is all that moisture that's been fed in from the Pacific Ocean. So here is our trough, and basically what's going to happen is we have a trough here and we have a bigger trough up here over Canada. This is where our high pressure system is, and they're going to kind of join forces together here overnight, pretty much right here around Arkansas, western Mississippi, and we're going to have a jet max form over Tennessee back into Alabama. That's what's going to pull all that warm moisture at the surface up. But this is, I mean, at this point, we're 5 kilometers up in the atmosphere, 5-10 kilometers. So that's going to basically allow our storm system to intensify overnight. The whole system, we're going to see it really ramp up here overnight. And as that moves over, that's going to in turn allow that cold air damming situation here in the Carolinas and Georgia to intensify as well. So, and then obviously once that energy moves away from us, so there's Sunday afternoon. That's right around noon. There's 3 p.m. Once it's kind of moving away from us, that's where that that wedge will start to weaken tomorrow afternoon. Let's see, take a look up here. There's our lower level winds that really intensify over Alabama, transporting all that moisture north. You can see. And that's what's keeping all the rain over Alabama is our what we call a low level jet, transporting all that warm, moist Gulf air. The other thing we could take a look at here is our dew points, because this is the real telltale sign as to where it's. You can see our dew points kind of warm up a little bit, but there's honestly not a whole lot. Oh, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. Let's zoom in. So here's that warm nose of moisture right there. I mean, we're talking dew points in the 60s there. And then over here in Atlanta, we get up to, that's the big question, is if this warm nose can hold together and actually get us those warm dew points that move through Atlanta tomorrow. That's what's going to break our wedge down. That warm, moist air is going to push it back, and it's going to retreat to far northeast Georgia into South Carolina. Let me zoom in on this so we can see it even closer. Let's actually go with our HRRR run. We'll see this even better. Here we go. So you can see we're dry. And then here's that moisture tomorrow at noon. And you can see down here in Macon, I mean, we got 55 degrees. But over here in Athens, it stays, 32 degrees dew point. In Atlanta, maybe around 8 p.m. when that front's kind of coming through. And then obviously behind it, it's cold and dry. You are welcome. Be safe out there. And be prepared to wake up with some ice on the ground. Yeah, there's midnight. So by midnight, it's definitely coming in by midnight tonight. But again, the good news is it might be a little scattered. It's not till 3, 4. Yeah, 3 to 5 a.m. looks like it when it's doing some of the worst, heaviest precipitation between 3 and 5. So that's the good news. I want to see, do we get moisture behind it at all? No. So that's kind of gone away on the latest run. Let's see what some of our latest ice totals may be. Yeah, that's really good. This is definitely trending in the a better direction for us here. Where these 0-0-Z run has definitely brought our ice totals down again. But it's actually increased it up here. Whew. Yeah, that's where it's gonna be. Gainesville's gonna get absolutely slammed. But Athens over to Atlanta, I think we're looking a lot better out here. A lot better out here. 3 to 5. That's 11 a.m. I mean, obviously the roads are still going to have some ice on them. And then the other problem is it doesn't take much. And then once all that rain comes through, tomorrow afternoon, evening, all that's going to freeze on top of it. Let's see what our QPF is. Come on. All right. Even our QPF, it's come down. Still an inch and a half up here of precipitation, though. Jeff, that moisture isn't as strong, that moisture return. You know, pretty much all this down here. If it evaporates, you know, as it's riding up over that front, that's going to definitely lower the totals here in Georgia, and that's kind of what the HRRR looks like it's maybe picking up on, especially down here along I-20. Seems to have it a lot more scattered and not as big of a shield. It's almost like it takes the moisture after 5 a.m. and it just lifts it north and kind of dries us out around 8 a.m. and just some scattered freezing rain there 9 a.m. So if that happens, that would be great for us. If we just get through the morning and then it's kind of like today where we just get some scattered freezing rain showers. Because now between 12 and 2, it keeps it pretty much along and north of 85 and keeps us dry through the first part of the afternoon. Again, this is just a model, you know, but that's what the thinking is there. 2 p.m. maybe getting a little bit more. Athens picking up a lot. 3 p.m. really going there in 85. But then 3 to 4, there's the rain that comes in. And then by 5 o'clock, it's all east of us, 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, potentially. So this is definitely it's definitely trending better for Georgia. At least for the Atlanta metro area, I would say. Not for Northeast Georgia. Northeast Georgia is not going to get out of this without some serious damage up there. Maybe even over towards Athens. Athens could still have it pretty rough. But I think Atlanta's going to fare better than Athens. Athens really has it rough 3 to 4. Athens may see a very brief changeover to rain right around 4 before that cold air comes in. So hopefully that'll be the case. And we're just more scattered. You can see the heavy precipitation there. Maybe up in northwest Georgia and lighter precipitation out here. Starting around midnight. That's when. So yeah, if we get just some light precipitation over here, look at that. And then that heavy precipitation there, limited to far north Georgia, 7 a.m., 8 a.m. Just a little bit of light rain. Maybe a pickup here around 10 a.m. And then here's that system coming through 2, 3 o'clock. What would be devastating for us, Rob and guys, is if, between 2 and 3 o'clock, it doesn't get above freezing and we have this really heavy precipitation move through as freezing rain and not as rain. That would be really bad. That's what would be really bad. Now, obviously, where it's still frozen up here, that's what's going to cause that really bad situation up there in northeast Georgia. I think from Gainesville north, when this really heavy precipitation is coming through and it's below freezing and all that's coming down is freezing rain, that's where it's going to be bad. So if for some reason this wedge is a lot stronger, and we're not going to know this until as we get into the day tomorrow, if that wedge is a lot stronger and holds a lot longer than some of these models are predicting, and we get that big surge of moisture moving through it's still below 32 degrees, then those totals could go right back up, So that's why we can't put too much trust in the models. You got to know what's going on with our temperature profiles. And that's why temperature is so important. Because a degree or two difference can mean the difference between 1/10 of an inch of ice and 1/2 an inch of ice, even if it's just for 3 or 4 hours. Especially if you get some of that heavier precip moving through when it's still below freezing. That's where you get your big, nasty ice storm totals, is when that happens. So these temperatures, 34 degrees, 34, 33, 34, 36. We really are going to have to watch these temperatures tomorrow throughout the day. '28, 29 in Greenville. I want to take a look at another. Let's take a look at radar scope real quick. Let's take a look at some of these reports that we've got coming in. So this is another radar software that let me turn the There we go. So we can see up here in Charlotte, we're getting a ton of ice reports already coming in there in Charlotte. All of these ice reports, MPing reports, freezing rain. Let's see what's going on here in Greenville. Greenville seeing freezing rain. Because that's the other thing sometimes too, is you don't necessarily see it. That's at, that was just under an hour ago there in Greenville seeing that. But obviously where we're at here, it's just rain in Gwinnett County, some drizzle. Let me come up here. You can see all the freezing rain there. Let's come over here into Greenville. Yeah, so you can see where the battle already is here with some of the snow and freezing rain. And here's the rain. Let's put this in motion and see how it's kind of... Yes, I'm starting to see that change over there for sure. And all that rain that moved through Athens changing over to some snow and freezing rain over here in South Carolina, looks like. So it's looking better for us, but again, we're still not out of the woods. We're most definitely not out of the woods. Look at all these snow and freezing rain reports up here in North Carolina, coming here into parts of South Carolina. These ice reports. Freezing rain reports. Ice report there. What's going on out here in Augusta? Snow. Look at that. That was about 30 minutes ago. Seeing some snow intergrapple there, kind of northeast of Augusta. Seeing a few flakes fly. That's possible. What are their temperatures out there? Let's see here. Curious. Oh yeah, it's about 34 degrees. So there could have been a little bit of snow that fell out there. That's entirely possible. All right, let's get some more high resolution radar data here. It's Greenville radar. There's a good bit of precipitation there. (32, 34). All right, temperatures are coming down more. We're down to 35 in Lawrenceville, 34 out here in Winder, and 36 now in Athens, 34 up in Commerce, 35 in Gainesville, 38 in around Brookhaven, 37 in Monroe, 32 there in Anderson, 32. It's pretty much at state line Clemson, 31 behind it. So now these temperatures, especially across South Carolina, they are primed and ready to go. The question is, how much moisture will we see? That is the big question. How much moisture will we see spill down from the mountains? This is such a complicated setup. Such a complicated setup. Oh yeah, this warm sector is definitely trying to build up. Yeah, speaking of the severe weather, I want to kind of take a look at some of that. Where I haven't honestly even gotten to really take a look at the severe weather setup for tomorrow. So we got a slight risk for tomorrow. Wow, they've kind of expanded that a good little bit. Let's take a look at this real quick. So here is tomorrow's severe weather outlook. So we've got a ice storm, and we've also got, especially across southern Alabama, southwest Georgia, much of the Florida Panhandle, there's slight risk for severe weather, which could include the threat of damaging wind gusts and a few tornadoes are the main concerns. So yeah, that surface low is going to traverse the Gulf Coast states tomorrow morning and afternoon before moving northeast toward the mid-Atlantic. Mid-level trough deepens east of the Mississippi River. Established out of the progressive surface cold front south of a warm front over southeast Mississippi into southern Alabama and Georgia. Support a severe threat along the Gulf Coast. Wow, they actually have a 5% tornado risk now for tomorrow. Down there in southwest Georgia, southern Alabama, and Florida Panhandle. That's pretty impressive for January. 15% wind risk. Obviously, no hail risk. Mainly tornado and wind threat. That's unreal. A 5% tornado risk tomorrow. There are going to be some water spouts coming ashore there in Panama City. That's just unreal. I might have a better chance of going down there and seeing some tornadoes, man. Because this is really just becoming a huge snowstorm. And that's the thing about forecasting ice. Has to be one of the hardest precipitation types to forecast. Like forecasting snow is one thing, but forecasting ice is completely different because it requires such a unique temperature profile. Snow is either it's all or nothing. Like the whole temperature profile has to be below 32 degrees. But ice, you have to have that warm nose aloft, and you have to have enough precipitation where it doesn't evaporate before it gets to the ground. Enough, moisture. Because if it's too dry, it's going to evaporate before it gets to the ground. Or it's going to evaporate as it lifts up over that warm nose, cold layer of air there. Yeah, for sure. Let me get that set up, and we'll bring you on. All right, we're going to bring Rob in here. We'll kind of talk about this whole system here that we've got going on. Always good to have Rob with us. But I mean, after looking at the 00Z HRRR, I mean, to me, it's definitely looking better for us here in the Atlanta area as far as ice accumulations. Because look how scattered this precipitation is tonight. I mean, it's starting to build out here in Texas, but if it can stay like this and this dry, basically it's almost like a dry slot.
Hello.
Hey, Rob. Thanks for joining us tonight.
No problem.
Yeah, so I mean, what are you thinking about this ice situation that we've got going on here right now? I mean, I almost looking at the radar. It's almost like we're we've got like this dry,
Yeah.
almost like the dry air is so
Yeah. I mean,
strong, you know? Like it's now down
that's.
to 21 degrees here in Greenville,
I was kind of thinking that,
where it's
like,
34
maybe.
degrees in Jackson,
Yeah. It might be just really spotty, depending on where you are.
which I mean is
But
great news. Like we can't
right.
really complain
Yeah.
about that because I'm curious. I want to see. I haven't even looked at what the new forecast totals are out there for, let's say Mississippi.
Right.
Let's take a look
I mean,
here.
I'm seeing a lot of frozen frozen rain, East
Okay, well, I
Tennessee,
mean
West.
it's
Uh,
still looking between 6 p.m. tonight and 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. We're
right.
still looking at over a half an inch out there in Mississippi, up near Tupelo, maybe West Tupelo, around Oxford area. Still possibly over an inch is what the 00Z says.
Yeah.
But like where I was saying, for like out here where I'm at, we may be down to a tenth to a quarter of an inch, which is good news. I want to
Yeah.
see if NWS Atlanta is saying anything about this new 00Z run that's kind of come in. They've come down. They're still. This is. When was this? It's from earlier today. They definitely have the bullseye. I feel like they have the bullseye on this absolutely correct. Right here around Gainesville, they've got at 3/4 to an inch of ice there. Hall County could get absolutely pummeled.
Yeah.
Athens potentially up to 3/4 of an inch of ice. That was from earlier. And then there's the severe weather threat.
Yeah.
Let me go into the
Uh,
forecast discussion. I want to see if they have any sort of updated discussion. No, 7 p.m. That's from
wow.
earlier. And
So
then,
hey, Joey,
yeah, go ahead.
I'm looking at the snowfall for the next day or so for like this parts of Ohio Valley Northeast. Can I show my screen so I can show you what I'm looking at?
Yeah, give me a second. Let me get you pulled up here. Go ahead.
All right.
Let me know when you're on here, and I'll.
Yeah. Got it.
All right, give me a second. Let me flip the stream over here to you.
Okay, so this
Hold
is
on 1 second.
ending.
Hold on. Hold
Oh,
on.
okay.
It's pulling up.
Got you. No problem.
Where'd you go? There we go. Okay, so now we got
Yes.
Discord there. All right, and transitioning. All right, you are live, sir.
All right. So as you can see here, this is by Monday afternoon. You could see. I mean, look at Pennsylvania. I mean, some spots of 2 feet of snow. This is the total snowfall according to new HRRR here. I mean, parts of Schenectady, Poughkeepsie, New York, 25 inches of
Whew.
snow in these areas. Ohio, I mean, parts of like Dayton, 16 inches.
Up
Up here
toward
in Cleveland, you
Columbus.
got 20 inches. So even parts of Maryland, like Western Maryland, 17 inches. So I
Yeah, this
mean,
is gonna
this
be a
is
huge snowmaker. Absolutely huge.
definitely. I mean, Boston, Massachusetts, almost 2 feet of snow. I mean, it's just very, very expansive, the snow potential for the Northeast.
Yep.
Even Long Island, a foot of snow. I mean, you don't see
That's
that every day.
no, no. What's Boston looking like? Is that
Uh,
18?
yeah, 20, 21, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. So even like southern New Hampshire, a foot and a half. I mean, Maine, a foot, maybe 2 feet. So yeah, these little spots here where you see like 2 feet, these could definitely. I want to kind of look at Kentucky. I know it says over here there's about 2 feet, but that's crazy. 2 feet in northern Kentucky. Let me take a look here. Uh, here. Oh, let me. There we go. Wow, look at that. Yeah, it looks like northern Kentucky is gonna be the new hotspot for snow if this verifies. I mean, it was kind of showing more central Kentucky before, but I feel like northern Kentucky could get a lot more than what they were forecasted.
Oh yeah,
It's
look
been
at that. Yep. And
even
we're
like
not going to get
Evansville.
anything down here.
Yeah, look at that. Maybe a little bit up here in the Blue Ridge Mountains, but
Yeah.
you know, look at that. Like Evans or Indianapolis, almost
A
2 feet of snow.
foot and a half easily, for sure.
Yeah. Evansville, I mean, almost 20 inches down here in Evansville.
And
So
still another six and a
St.
half
Louis
at
almost a
Tulsa.
foot. Yeah, look at that.
Because that's from this afternoon. Yeah, I don't know how much snow they've already gotten. But yeah, still seeing
Let me go
another
back.
6.5 inches.
Eh, yeah,
That's what I'm saying. So this is
just
on
to
top of everything that's already fallen.
yeah. This is new snowfall.
Yeah,
So that's what
exactly.
I'm
Yep.
saying. Freezing rain. Let's take a look at that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
wow, look at that. Look at Northeast Mississippi.
well, that's the QPF. That's not. You don't have the Fram index there.
No, I don't.
Yeah, that's what I have. I have Pivotal Weather Plus. So basically,
That's
that
good.
there, what you're looking at, Rob, the QPF, that is the liquid equivalent. That's like saying we're going to get an inch
Oh,
and a
I
half of
see.
rain. And then the Fram is
Gotcha.
what converts the liquid equivalent to what actually accumulates. It's the freezing rain accumulation
Uh,
model, or the Fram.
gotcha.
So,
Okay, makes sense.
yep. That's the nice thing about
Awesome.
Pivotal Weather Plus is I'm able to get some of that extra data that you don't get on the free
Yeah,
version there. But you can see
that's
looking
neat.
up at Northeast Georgia, look how much rainfall, the liquid equivalent rainfall. I
Oh
mean, an
yeah.
inch and a half of rain, that's going to be a huge ice storm up there. You know,
Oh yeah.
where you get
Definitely.
and a lot of that is because of orographic lifting. Remember, with mountains
Yeah,
and you have orographic lift, that enhances those precipitation rates. So where that
definitely.
happens, you could easily get over an inch of ice. And I think a lot of the trees up there in the mountains and stuff like that, they're going to have some pretty big problems come, you know, tomorrow.
Definitely. For
Even
sure.
here locally, I think Stone Mountain, believe it or not, if I were to go climb up Stone Mountain tomorrow afternoon, I bet some of those trees on top of Stone Mountain will be covered. We may not get half of an inch of ice here at the surface where I'm at, but I
Right.
bet up on top of Stone Mountain there might be half of an inch of ice of accumulation on those trees on there and branches and stuff
Definitely.
broken down. So that just goes to show
Sure.
you the difference elevation can make when it comes to accumulation amounts.
Mm. I kind of see the severe weather of all this here. Let's go ahead and look down here. This is the
Oh, look at that. That's what's
reflectivity.
going on.
That's
Yeah, so that's
our
earlier.
day.
Go oh, you're on the H go switch over cuz you're on the 18. Is that the 18Z? That is the 18Z. Okay, you're good.
Oh, that's why. It's on the older one. Oh, there you go. Uh, yeah, look at that. You got something over here, possibly. Growing up, you got some rain coming in.
So that little yeah, so it's kind of
Oh, look at
interesting
that.
there how you have that big area kind of move through Alabama, but
Yeah, you
then it
see
kind of
that?
clears out
Yeah.
tomorrow afternoon there across Georgia again.
Yeah,
and
you
and
see
it's
that
just
now.
kind of scattered. I mean, if that happens, that's going to be great for us if we're not having as
Yeah.
long of a duration of freezing rain.
Yeah, supercell composite's pretty low, probably. Yeah, I mean, it's probably just gonna be linear mode mostly in wind, right?
Yeah.
Is what
Power
I'm thinking.
outages are up to almost 150,000 now. So we've jumped up almost 50,000 here in the last couple
Wow,
hours.
look at that. Look how much the low level jet intensifies overnight.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
yeah. That's by tomorrow morning.
And look at that. Wow. 64 knots here in southern Mississippi and 70 here in northern Alabama
Yeah.
near Huntsville. Plenty of energy to have something happen in this area, though.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And I think
that's about
that
it.
that strong low level jet, that strong. I mean, the warmer
Yeah.
advection might win out over that cold air, and that's why I
Oh,
think
definitely.
if that does materialize, then
Right.
that's good news for us here in Georgia for sure.
Oh,
For
definitely.
sure.
For sure.
So I'll
Yeah.
be really interested to see here. Usually, I think it's around 1 a.m. or so. The NWS Atlanta puts out their new forecast discussion and stuff like that. So I think what happens here these next 3 hours is going to be really crucial to, where this is a make or break event for us. But I mean, in my gut, I'm feeling like things are definitely looking better for us.
Right.
And we'll still get, I still believe we will get freezing rain. I still believe we'll get accumulations. But I don't think it's going to be as high, especially the closer you are to Atlanta, to the point where, we're going to be having problems multiple days down here. Now, up in Gainesville and those areas, yeah, they could be out of power easily for a week. No question
Yeah.
about it.
Oh,
But I think
definitely.
down here, if we lose power, it might be a day, or something like that. And it'll be more sporadic. I think the power outages down here, where I'm at, they may happen, but I think it will be more sporadic. Hopefully, the crews will be able to get out there on hopefully by Tuesday, and start the repairs and stuff like that. So, I think almost now, the big concern is the flash freeze. When all that precipitation comes through, and then that really cold air in the 20s comes through, and all that moisture freezes on the roads, that's where I think we're going to have our problem, especially on Monday.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
I'm
I
thinking that
think
too.
I think the roads I think will be worse than like the trees and the power lines where I live.
Oh,
I think the roads will be
definitely.
what the problem is. Up in like Gainesville and those areas, it'll be the roads and the trees and the power lines. But I think down here, our main primary issue is going to be the travel on the roads.
Right.
So
I'll be right back, Joey.
here's a look. All right. Here's a look, guys, at the latest power outages there across Louisiana. We can see they're definitely upticking here across the northern part of the state. We're seeing some pretty big percentages here. I mean, 40% of that county's without power. Now, about half of DeSoto County is out of power. Almost 40% there of Eastern Carroll County is without power. So we're definitely starting to see these power outages uptick. Even here in Mississippi, Sharkey County, we've got about 40% of you guys there in Sharkey County without power. Up here in Carroll County, we've got about over 25% of folks there are without power. So, but Western Mississippi is looking pretty good. Up here, Pontotoc County, about 10%. So, and then coming back out here to Texas again. Over here in eastern Texas, we've got Shelby County. Almost half of Shelby County is without power. And Panola County is pretty high. And Rusk County. So kind of here in the eastern, northeastern Texas, where we've seen some of those bigger freezing rain totals thus far today. That is where we have some of our highest power outages. And these numbers, I think, especially tomorrow, I think tomorrow is where, especially out there, is where we're going to see a lot of the power outages occur. I think tomorrow into Monday morning, is when the majority of power outages will occur all across the U.S. So we're starting to see a little bit of this freezing rain getting a little bit further south. We've got temperatures continuing to drop. We're down to 32 degrees here around Cornelia, Dahlonega. Looking like it might be starting to get in a little bit of freezing rain. Down even here toward Mulberry, potentially seeing potentially a little bit of freezing rain develop. And then over here south of Anderson, we've got some freezing rain. Maybe a little bit of snow over there. We had some reports earlier of some snow kind of northeast of Augusta, Georgia. Got some light rain again moving through here, through Covington, up through Stone Mountain, and up into Dunwoody and Doraville and Roswell. Some more rain, but still staying above freezing here. So again, just some light rain moving through. So here in the next hour or two, I think we'll have to see as these freezing temperatures start coming south. 33, 34 in Commerce, 35 Gainesville. If we do see some of this rain transition over to freezing rain. Peachtree Corners getting in on some of that rain. But we got a good bit of moisture down here. The question is, does all this moisture here hold together as it moves up towards Atlanta this evening? Or does it stay spotty like it is right now? That is the big question. If you're just joining on the live stream, thank you so much for tuning in here to Extreme Weather Videos. We are covering this winter storm, as you can see here, across much of the United States. We've got snow stretching from New Mexico all the way here over to Virginia Beach and out into the Atlantic Ocean. We also have dangerously cold temperatures that are gripping much of the northern tier of the country. Temperatures in the negative double digits here in parts of Minnesota. Extreme cold warnings in effect for much of those areas. And then we still continue to have these ice storm warnings here for parts of the southeast. And a large swath of winter storm warnings, again, stretching from New Mexico all the way up through New England into Maine, as we're expecting this snowstorm to really continue to ramp up here through the evening into the overnight hours and then through much of the day tomorrow. Right now, the heaviest icing looked to be just around south of Greenville, around Oxford. We've got a pocket of freezing rain, and then a lot of freezing rain here right now in Tennessee into western North Carolina, and starting to see a little bit of freezing rain again here that we're keeping a close eye on up here in parts of northeastern Georgia around the Dahlonega area.
Back.
Hey, Rob. And thankfully, right now, it's just we've had some light rain move through. Looks like we got a little bit more light rain with these temperatures still hovering above freezing right now, which is good news for us. But again, as you get closer to Gainesville, that's where we're starting to see some of these temperatures drop and might start seeing some of this rain transition over here to freezing rain. Maybe right around here around Flowery Branch area. Possibly seeing a little bit of freezing rain. And good evening there. Cindy and Kevin, Pastor.
Good evening.
They are actually down in Orlando. They went away and wanted to enjoy some of your 80-degree weather that you had down there today, Rob.
Yeah. Hey, I don't blame him.
Rob here on the call with me, guys. He is in Tampa, Florida. He's been with us here at Extreme Weather Videos now for almost 10 years. 2017. Yeah. Coming up on 10 years, man.
That's correct.
So,
yeah, man.
Let's take a look at some of our chase out there. Let's see what Adam Lucio's seeing out there in Texas. It looks like we've got some sort of vehicle incident out there involving semi-trucks and tractor trailers there. So they're definitely having some issues out there for sure. Going to be 85 tomorrow. I just can't imagine that.
Wow.
85 in January down there. Great time to be at Disney World or something like that. Even that's a little bit warm. I like it when it's like 80. I always like going down there around, Christmas time when it's in the 70s. To me, that's like perfect time to do something like that. Definitely. Yeah. And the reason it's going to be 85 tomorrow out there is because of this low pressure system that we've got down here in the Gulf of Mexico, bringing all that warm, humid air there into central and southern Florida, and the threat of severe weather up here in the panhandle of Florida tomorrow. So that just shows us how powerful this storm system is. I want to check in on Dahlonega real quick. See, I wish this camera was a little. Yeah, it's 32 degrees in Dahlonega, so that precipitation that's coming down there is likely freezing rain. Obviously, it's dark, so it's hard to really tell. But so far, things here this evening are doing okay there, guys. It does look like our, at least as of the latest model data that we were looking at earlier, it does look like our ice storm totals here, especially around Stone Mountain, down along I-20, are going to be lighter. And then pretty much if you live along and north of Interstate 85, that's where the real heavy freezing rain looks like is kind of focusing in, especially in and around the Gainesville area. I kind of say from Lake Lanier up through Claremont, Cleveland, even over toward Cumming, Johns Creek, Sugar Hill, kind of that area, I think is where you're going to see those half-inch plus freezing rain totals. But down here, the further south, it's going to be a pretty big gradient from north to south there. So the fact that I live further south than I do, even like Lilburn, I think will get more, freezing rain than, say, me down here around Centerville. Could be 1/10 of an inch more up there than it is down here. Those gradients are going to be pretty significant. Lawrenceville, I think, is still going to get hit pretty hard. Again, I think kind of this US 29 here from, basically where Duluth is, out east to Winder to Athens. I think north of that is where the power outages will really be likely. South of that, I think it's going to be more spotty down here where we're at
Yeah.
along 78. I think there's going to be a pretty noticeable difference between Lawrenceville to Athens and, say, Stone Mountain over to Monroe. I think there's going to be a pretty noticeable difference in the impacts that we'll see. Now, that's as far as power lines and trees. I think roads are going to be really rough everywhere, mainly because, not necessarily the freedom, but mainly because of the flash freeze that's going to happen Sunday night into Monday morning. That's going to be a huge problem across all of Metro Atlanta. So I think if we do have people traveling on 285 Sunday afternoon into Sunday evening, especially Sunday evening, once those temperatures drop again back down to freezing, that's where we're going to have those roads turn quickly to ice if they're not already icy, you know. So I'm hoping we don't have another snowmageddon like we had back in 2014, but it is possible. The difference with this is 2014, Rob. I don't even know if you remember that what we had up here in Atlanta, but we basically had a quick couple hours of snowfall and then a flash freeze, and people were out. This was during the evening rush hour, and then the entire highway basically turned into a skating rink of ice, and all the cars got stranded, and took people 12 hours to get home, and they were having to just leaving their cars abandoned on the roads and stuff like that. So this is a very different type of storm that we have. That's not a snowstorm. It literally is just an ice storm. So
Yeah, I think I remember that.
yep. All right, let's take a look. Let me pull up our temperatures again. See how our situation's developing. We should be getting a new update here in about 20 minutes to these temperatures. I'm pretty sure it updates every hour. So I'm pretty sure these are as of
Yeah.
9 o'clock. So
What, the Medars?
yeah,
Yeah. That sounds about right.
I'm pretty sure they post the readings once an hour. It might be every 30 minutes. I don't know. I can't remember how often they post them. But 28 degrees back here in Greenville. 25 there in Charlotte. So really cold up there. 32 degrees here in Cornelia, 33 over here, 34 in Commerce, 35 in Lawrenceville.
Got an update here from National Weather Service in Norman about the snow.
What are they saying out there in Norman? It's coming down there for sure.
Yeah. They're saying periods of light to moderate wintry precipitation will continue in the evening, becoming more scattered towards sunrise. The greatest accumulations will be greater than 4 inches in a band including western, central, and north central Oklahoma. It will include sleet accumulations up to 1 inch across portions of south central and southern Oklahoma and west north Texas. There will be only light freezing rain expected from western North Texas into southern Oklahoma. So yeah.
All right.
And I'll show you the picture where I found that on your DM, Joe. I can show it if you want.
All right. Yeah, go ahead and let me flip over here to you. Or can you just share your screen?
Oh yeah, I could do that. Let me do that actually. That's a good idea. Let's see. There you go.
Okay.
You see it?
It's loading.
Oh, okay.
I got so many tabs and windows open and stuff.
I see.
Close radar scope. There we go. All right.
Yep.
Oh wow, yeah.
There you go.
3 to 6 inches out there still to come.
Yeah, that's where I think Steven is, right? Around there.
Yeah, he's in Norman. Yes, sir. And
Yeah.
then, Jeff is up in Tulsa area. So we've got two of our guys out there on this.
I'm gonna tag him in that so he can see it. Yeah, that's what they're saying. I mean, I knew they were gonna get decent snow. So I mean, I think Jeff said earlier last night he got 4, maybe 5, and now they're gonna get probably even more.
Yep. They're not halfway through with what they're going to get out there.
No, not yet.
Cuz it's going to snow out there for another solid 12 hours easily through tomorrow morning. Maybe even into the first part of the afternoon. But definitely I think probably till about noon is when it's supposed to snow till.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
But this is interesting here. Let me see if I can flip over to this. I'm not sure if you guys have seen this latest graphic out of NWS here, showing the forecasted ice accumulations through the end of the day tomorrow. You can see this purple zone here pretty much, again, from all of Hall County, and I think that's, I'm not super good with the county names around here. Troop,
Yeah.
Meriwether, maybe.
All right.
But Gainesville, they're saying maybe 3/4 of an inch to an inch of ice. And then also up here in the mountains, you can see that purple area where we're at, that 3/4 of an inch to an inch. But look at the gradient just over on the west side of Atlanta, like this glaze, and then here in Atlanta, maybe 1/4 of an inch. And again, this was from earlier today. I do think when they come out with their new graphics and stuff like that tomorrow morning, I think those totals are going to be a little bit lower. I really do. Unless something drastic changes here overnight with this moisture coming up here from the Gulf, and it turns out to be a lot more than we think, then that might be about right. But really, this is going to be really critical here. The next 6 hours here in Georgia is going to be really the make or break for this storm. Our daughter Heather already has 2 inches in 1 hour, and it's going to snow. Yeah, Lynchburg, Virginia. Let me show you Lynchburg. They're right now sitting here at 13 degrees. They're in Lynchburg, and they've got some pretty moderate snowfall coming down there in Lynchburg. And it's been snowing there in Lynchburg for the past couple of hours. So if they're getting 2 inch an hour rates, they're gonna get eventually, I will say with Lynchburg, it is going to change over in Lynchburg from snow to the freezing rain. It's not going to be snowing the entire day tomorrow. Let's take a look here. Let me show you this. What's going to kind of happen here in Lynchburg. Let's come back to the 18Z because that should take us further. So you can see here there's the snow, and then we'll see that changeover from snow to sleet, and then eventually to freezing rain in Lynchburg. And it'll still be snowing in the mountains. So they will end up changing over from the snow that they're having now to sleet and then freezing rain. They could pick up 1/4 of an inch of freezing rain up there in Lynchburg. So it's going to be an absolute mess up there with the snow already on the ground, and then you get some of that sleet. So you have like those different layers up there in Lynchburg. and that's where things get just really
Yeah.
messy. Is when you have all three different types of snow, and that's kind of what happened to us in 2014. Started as snow, then it kind of changed over and ended with a little glaze of ice on top, and just made everything a complete mess. So those, to me, those are like the worst snowstorms. It's like you really want it to be all snow, but when you get snow and then it changes over to sleet, and so then you got that little crunchy, and then you get just a glaze of ice or a quarter of an inch of ice on top of all of that. That's just absolutely miserable. So Virginia, I think, is one of those places where even West Virginia, southern West Virginia, where you'll have that changeover. And then even like in Beckley, it changes back over to snow. Yeah, an 18Z still showing solid amount. Let's see what the 19Z. So yeah, kind of starts as snow, and then the changeover happens as that moisture's moving north, cold air moving south. And that's why, but up in northeast Georgia, north of 85, that, I mean, it still has, even this newest model run here, look how far south that freezing rain gets here in Georgia. I mean, it does. It gets all the way down here to Griffin, Monticello. I mean, this is the latest run. It still does get all the way out here. This is like 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. So,
Wow.
and there it's not as spotty as it was. It's kind of, I think the models are really having a hard time trying to figure out the amounts and intensity of the precipitation. Because see, look at this, all this heavy precipitation here kind of moving through Tuscaloosa, Birmingham over to LaGrange. And we've got this cold air in place in northeast Georgia. And that's what I was talking about. If we already have that cold air in place and we get that really heavy precipitation to ride up over that cold air, and that timing is basically perfect, we're going to get those higher ice totals back closer to maybe 4/10 of an inch. So it's one of those things where I really am. I'm just glued to the radar, glued to the temperatures, glued to these reports that are coming
Yeah.
in off to our
There's a
northeast.
lot to look at.
I mean, just look at the intensity of this precipitation shield down here in Alabama. That's
I know.
that's really concerning for me in 6 hours.
Yeah, I see that.
You
Look at
know,
that.
if in
Wow.
6 hours that's moving over 30-degree air temperatures and precipitating, that's going to be some big freezing total amounts here in northeast Georgia. Like really significant freezing total amounts. But if it dries out, right, and kind of stays close to the coast and remains more light and scattered like it is right now, then we're going to be fine. But if it holds together and just moves north and east overnight tonight, then we're not going to be fine. So it's got you on the edge of your seats, folks.
I mean, I'm looking at snowfall reports. I'm looking at, Twitter. I'm looking at radar. I'm looking at a lot as well.
Yeah. Let me pull
And it
this.
looks like in the last hour we've got about 3.5 inches of snow just south of Kansas City. That was reported at 8:59 p.m., so about an hour ago.
Wow.
Yeah, so. And then we also have a report over here in Texas near Amarillo of 2.9 inches of snow. They probably got way more than that, but that's just, the last report they got. What's the uh what's the radar mode that shows like accumulation of snow? Is it total accumulation or is it 3 hour?
Total is in radar scope. Total is what you'd want to use.
No,
3 hours just going to show you the last 3 hours of accumulation.
no, weather wise. I mean,
Oh, and weather-wise, yeah, that would
yeah.
be probably total accumulation. Total precipitation. Well, hold up. Let me come back to radar, and we'll come down here. Total storm precipitation accumulation.
I see that. Yeah, it looks like over near Amarillo, it looks like anywhere from an inch to 2 inches.
But that's liquid precipitation. So then if you use the 10-to-1 ratio, that's, and it depends on what type. So
Right.
that isn't really a great estimate for, because you have to do all those conversions for when it comes to when it comes to snowfall. Now, if that was all snow, then yeah,
Yeah.
you'd have roughly, possibly up to 10 inches on the ground, 10-to-1, 10 inch of
Right.
snow for every inch of liquid precipitation, and obviously that doesn't account for evaporation and those types of things. So
Yeah, that's a good point. It only does like some metrics when like
see how
you look
Greenville's
at
looking.
it, right?
Wow. Yeah, Greenville out here definitely got some ice covered roads there, and some snow coming down.
Yeah. Oh, it's
Like you could
right
actually,
now it's 3 degrees in Amarillo.
it's 21 in Greenville.
That's cold. Yeah. Yeah. Here in Florida, it's 74 degrees.
And we're at about 37 degrees here, probably, I think. Let me see.
Yep, that's right. I see it now.
36.
36,
I'm at
37.
36.
Yeah.
At 36, going down to 28. I mean,
Pretty cold.
I think we get basically to 32 right at midnight. Winds are at
Right.
about 11, 12 miles per hour. And they still have us staying below freezing all the way till noon tomorrow. So if that happens, I mean,
Wow.
we're still at 12 hours of freezing rain. Now, it does look like, again, the heaviest freezing rain looks like it comes in between like 2 and 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Is kind of still what I'm thinking. But then they actually have us warming up to 37 degrees tomorrow afternoon. So once, the sun, we won't see sunlight, but that warm nose of air, we get up to about 40 by 9 o'clock. Maybe. I don't believe that. And then getting down to 22. And then Tuesday, 15. Oof. It's going to be too cold. I'll take my 50s back.
Yeah.
I'll take my 50s back there, sir.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll take
I hear ya.
your 70s and 80s down there in Florida. Send some
All
of
right.
that north. I don't want this cold
Yeah.
anymore. It's been too long.
I hear you. Hey, you guys have had a very cold winter up there in Georgia.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a mild winter this year. I really did. I'm like, oh, this year there's
Yeah.
no way we're getting any snow or anything like that. And
But it's still been cold.
yeah, here we are in cold air, Arctic outbreaks all the time.
Yeah. I mean, right around this time of year, we had that blizzard in Louisiana last year. Remember that when like
Oh yeah.
Tallahassee got like yeah, half a foot of snow. That was crazy.
Looks like most of our storm chasers have gone to sleep. Brandon Montgomery, though, he has been. I think he changed his mind because earlier today he was up here in northwest Alabama and northeast Mississippi, and now he's down here in Evergreen, Alabama. He's like, you know what? I'm not doing this ice thing. I'm coming down here to southern Alabama and going storm chasing tomorrow. Gonna chase me
There
some
you go.
tornadoes. So he made the drive all the way down south here, get in position for tomorrow. But he lives here in Georgia. He lives up in near Ellijay Blue Ridge, Georgia. So he drove west over to Mississippi, and then came back and drove south down 65. I was like, well, he's done some good driving today. It's like drove west, come down 22 to 65, and then come down 65, and now you're down here in Fairview, Alabama, ready to go.
Yeah.
Man, Greenville's really getting in on some of this freezing rain right now. Down to Vicksburg, Monroe, Shreveport. Look at this sleet out here in Texas, over near Dallas in this area.
No. Just wow.
I mean, it's literally in Mexico, Eagle Pass. They're getting freezing rain and snow in Mexico.
Crazy.
San Antonio, Texas, getting in on this
Yeah.
now. Look at these temperatures. I mean, it's 30, 32 degrees here. Corpus Christi's at 43. Houston's at 38. Like, this is some crazy cold.
Yeah, wow. Looks like they're getting a mix of freezing rain and snow in San Antonio.
Yeah,
That's you don't see that every day.
exactly. That far south in Texas,
Yeah.
I mean, that's like equivalent
That's
with New Orleans, man.
yeah.
Maybe
That's
even
like
a little bit
equivalent with
further
Gainesville,
south.
Florida.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Or like equivalent with I'd say like Corpus Christi probably.
Yep.
Definitely don't see that every day. Know that down south. Dude, we got here. Not you, Siri. Flooded my we got a flood advisory for Ava Maria Miami
Wow.
in other news.
So here's some of the latest freezing rain probabilities from
All right.
Weather Prediction Center. So probability of freezing rain accumulation greater than 1/100th of an inch, pretty much guaranteed there. Go up to 1/10 of an inch. Oh, come on, man. Here we're in the orange, so we're 80 to 90%. 80 and 90% up here, basically at 95% plus. When we get to a
Right.
1/4 of an inch, that's where it really starts dropping down. We're 40 to 50%, 50 to 60%, 50 to 60% probability that we see more than a 1/4 of an inch here.
Right.
And then up here, 60 to 70%. So, I mean, the probabilities are still there for us.
Definitely.
I mean, it's not gone. Now, out here in
No,
Mississippi,
not at all.
you're 80 to 90% probability more than a quarter. Here's your half and your inch. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I'm just interested to see what we have in the morning when I wake up, you know? How much do we have fall on the ground by the time we wake up? Look at some of these road conditions out here. I mean, you can see here, absolutely terrible. Tennessee, it's got some rough road conditions. Even some closures, it looks like. Jackknife tractor trailer out here on I-40. Debris on the roadway there in Franklin County. Multi-vehicle crash out here on I-65. You know, so here around Nashville, another jackknife tractor trailer, disabled vehicle. So pretty rough out there in parts of Tennessee. North Carolina is starting to see a little bit of issues here as well. In Arkansas. Little Rock. You see a lot of issues out here. It's kind of cool. Let's check in on our power outages, see how 164,000. So Texas, we're sitting at 58,000. Louisiana's up to 65,000 now in Louisiana. Wow. Mississippi, I'm surprised Mississippi's still only at like 10,000 in Mississippi. Too. That's kind of surprising. I thought there would be more in Mississippi, considering how much ice that they've had today. Even Arkansas, Southern, only at like 3,000. Yeah, Northeast Texas, Southwest Arkansas, and Northern Louisiana seem to be the hardest hit areas when it comes to power outages. Hey, Nick, great to see you on here tonight, man.
Hello, Nick. How's it going?
Nick, if you're available, you can hop on the Discord call. Would love to hear your thoughts on our precipitation or lack thereof thus far and what you're thinking here. But if not, that's fine. If you can't hop on, you can definitely chill with us in the chat for sure. I mean, you're up in what is it, Woodstock area? Have you gotten any of that just precipitation moving through your area at all? We've just gotten some rain. We're at about 36 degrees. Lawrenceville's at 34. Commerce 33. Gainesville 33. Cornelia's down to 30. Toccoa's 32. It's drizzly right now there. Not freezing. I mean, it's 36 in Kennesaw, 35 up in Ball Ground, where Chastity's at. So Woodstock, you're probably 36, 34. You're probably about the same as we are. There really hasn't been a ton of moisture. All the moisture right now is down here over southern Alabama. And then west in kind of scattered there in northern Alabama, and then obviously north in Tennessee. Starting to see more. Look at all this freezing rain though, starting to build in over here on the east side of Charlotte here in the last 30 minutes. That's new. Yeah, that's changed over. Freezing rain is so hard to forecast.
Yeah, I bet. That's what I was saying
because
earlier.
it just
It's
kind of
not that.
it just kind of comes and goes. You know, it just does what it wants to do, and there's not really obviously there's nothing you can do about it. You know,
Mm-mm.
these temperatures are just so unpredictable all over the place. You know. I'm curious what our winds are like. Oh, you know what I want to take a look at? Let's take a look at this real quick. I haven't even gotten to take a look at our winter storm severity index here.
Oh, there you go.
See what they're
That's a good one.
saying. Yeah, so pretty much. Oh yeah, no, they're all yeah. I think the refreeze Sunday night into Monday morning is going to be a big problem. Maybe a bigger problem than we're
Oh,
even
definitely.
giving it credit for. Yeah.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Once that front goes through, you know, and it's going to be pulling all that cold moisture down and cold air from where all that snowpack is up north. It's going to get so cold.
Oh
So
yeah.
this is tomorrow. So tomorrow, again, Lawrenceville over to Athens. There's that line where major risk, and then we're in the moderate from Kennesaw through Snellville and Monroe, those areas. Then south of I-20s, got a thin little line of minor, and then could see winter weather as far south as Peachtree City, Griffin, Monticello tomorrow. See, ice accumulation about the same. And obviously, day 3 it's gone. Tonight, tomorrow tracks. So again, it's definitely come down. Snowing on your deck. Oh yeah, I'm sure up in Indiana. I'm sure it's really
Yeah.
crazy up there. Yeah, it's what 10 degrees up there. Oh my goodness. At least that's positive. It's positive degrees in Indianapolis right now, y'all.
Mm.
Brad Arnold's up
10
here
degrees is
near
so cold.
Louisville. Oh yeah. Look at those roads, man. That's something else there.
Wow. Yeah.
That's some fun driving up in Kentucky. So he's having a good time up there. Looks like Jennifer McMahon's out. Brandon Kopic's out. Kopic. All playing in the snow.
Yeah. I heard that Jim Cantori was going to New York.
Oh, I believe it. New York's going to have a fun day tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. I mean, they did say 12 to 24 inches of snow.
Yeah, I think it'll be closer to that higher end. I think the snow is
I think so
definitely
too.
thus far the snow is definitely winning out over the freezing rain. Other than out in Mississippi, I don't know what. So I haven't
Yeah.
seen. Let me see if I can find some of the freezing rain totals that we've had so far.
Yeah, Mississippi is just getting training freezing rain and sleet. Like all day, I feel like I've seen something with freezing rain there.
Hmm.
You know? So, Arkansas getting some mixed precip.
Yep.
Some spotty snow. So, yeah. Man. I feel like Oklahoma got a lot. I mean, I'm looking at Oklahoma, like most of this states got snow or mixed wintry mix.
Mm-hmm. Here's what Atlanta News First is saying for totals, which is pretty close to what I was thinking, where we've come down slightly, half inch up in Duluth, 4/10 of an inch Snellville, 3/10 of an inch out in Atlanta and down to Lithonia. So I'm thinking we're between that 4/10 and 3/10 of an inch. We definitely, I think, have come down some on our estimates there. Up where you're at, Nick,
Definitely.
probably still right around that 4/10 of an inch mark. It's kind of what I'm thinking. What they're thinking too. So definitely something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, definitely.
And this is I don't know if you saw this graphic there. There's about that severe weather risk tomorrow down in South Georgia. Woodstock, I think you'll be right around 4/10 of an inch, 3 to 4/10 of an inch up there in Woodstock. So we got that slight risk down there, but again, there's that high uncertainty regarding the wedge erosion and the extent of that northward push of that warm, moist air. How far north does that get? So this is between 2 and 8 p.m. tomorrow. So, yeah.
I mean, you have almost like a triple point, not really severely, but like right there in
Yeah,
Louisiana.
right here, yeah.
Where you had the low.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, you got that. And it's almost like a little secondary low right here.
yeah, like a cutoff almost.
Yep. I'm going to flip this over to our snow. And
Where is the upper low currently? I know it was in Mexico before. Like western Mexico near Baja.
it's over here, pretty much coming into West Texas.
Yeah.
Let me put this in motion here. You'll see it spinning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right here, basically. Coming into West
Yeah,
Texas.
I see it. Man. Look at all those negative temps up there in Kansas and
Nebraska and all
Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota. Yeah. Then you have like teens everywhere else, basically, except for like Mississippi, eastern Mississippi Valley.
Yeah, look at this plume of moisture push here. It coming through Midland. That's where
Yeah.
that intensifying, that low's intensifying there.
Yeah,
But it's still,
LLJ is gonna start coming.
it still hasn't reached the Gulf of Mexico yet. You know,
No, it hasn't.
once this gets to East Texas, that's where I think we're really going to see that moisture really increase,
Yeah.
which probably won't be till early tomorrow morning. You know,
Yeah, I was thinking that.
a couple more hours.
Like
It'll be a couple
6.
more hours. Like, well, I think it'll be before then. I think it'll be maybe like 2, 3 a.m.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That
I
makes
think
sense.
that's when it will be pretty much get to the point where we can actually start, instead of pulling moisture from the Pacific Ocean, we start pulling moisture really from the Gulf. Obviously, we're starting to pull a little bit down here, but once this upper level low gets further east, you know, and starts, say, gets up here closer to like, you know, South Oklahoma and Arkansas, that's when we'll really, really see that precipitation, I think, increase. Because look at this snow now back here in Arizona, you know,
Yeah, look at that.
and in New Mexico, you know. So,
Yeah, near Prescott. East of Prescott, yeah. Even got a little bit there in Colorado up there too. A little
yeah,
bit
because
of
I mean, basically, our upper level low is probably right around here. It's kind of where I think it is, and it's, you know, gonna basically shoot off to the northeast. So Once it gets to like here, that's when we'll really start being able to pull more of that moisture north. And this low here, the surface low, that's what's going to move up here into Alabama, you know? We
Right.
actually have these two different lows. You
Right.
got this one here and this one right behind it. This one here will kind of just move out over the Gulf of Mexico, I think. But it is just again, it's
Yeah.
one of those really just a complex system. Why does it have to be so
Yeah.
complicated? You know, why can't it just be easy?
I know. I know. Yeah. And it's gonna merge with that. You said there's gonna be like a clipper up there in Canada. It's gonna merge with.
Yeah, well, there's the bigger upper level trough that it's going to end up merging with. Let me see if I can give me a minute. I'll show you. Come back here. Let's come. Mm-hmm. Let's come to upper air. Let's come to our 500 millibar. And there you go. So this is obviously, a few hours old. This is now basically
Right.
sitting over East Texas. You know, that's basically where we are right now. Probably right about there.
Yeah.
Um, so here is this piece of energy, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not what I want to do. Close this. And then we've got this piece of energy. Watch what happens with this. Basically, it's like a little shortwave trough here, and then you have
Yeah. That's right.
this big
I was
trough
thinking.
here. You know, they merge right there, and it kind of just becomes one big trough. See that? So you have like this
Yeah.
trough, and then you have this trough here coming down from Canada, and then it merges. And look at that.
Yeah.
The upper
Wow.
level wind
That's.
speeds there by Tuesday, driving all that. This is what's going to drive all. Look at these wind barbs here. They're pointing from north to south. That's going to drive all that cold air from Minnesota. It's going to drive it across that snowpack Tuesday morning and bring it right here into the southeast, right?
Wow. Yeah.
So that's why we're going to be at 15 degrees on Tuesday morning because of that. And there's Thursday. That's when we're going to have another cold shot of air on Thursday.
Yeah. Look at that.
Look at that, you know.
That's coming all the way down here almost.
Yep. Another
Yeah.
lobe. And then there's going to be a big ridge here in the west and still more zonal flow, but potential of,
Look at that. Back to back troughs.
another one exactly. So, I mean, that's just, again, going to
It's gonna
bring
be
up
cold for a while.
really cold air. Exactly. Really, really,
Yeah.
really, really, really cold air. Look at these height changes
That's,
here.
that's exactly why we're gonna see 30s in the morning every day for a week.
Yep.
And highs that barely get above 60.
That's just once that phases tomorrow. I mean, look at this now, and then look by tomorrow
Wow, look at that.
how that just all
Yeah.
comes together.
Yep.
And
So what's the
people
red? Is that trophic or is that ridging?
over here in the west, yeah, you got a little bit of ridging there on the west.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's going to be plenty of instability in moisture transport tomorrow there across southern Alabama.
I'm gonna take a look what the Enzo is looking at right now for the year. Kind of see what they're looking at here.
So it's going to be a very interesting day tomorrow to see how this whole storm system develops. I mean, we think it's bad now. I think tomorrow it's really these snowfall rates tomorrow are just going to be off the charts. You know, I think some places could have, 2-3 inch an hour rates easily. So, especially once we get that phasing to occur up there in the Northeast, like Pennsylvania and some areas, I think they're going to have some just absolutely bonkers snowfall rates up there.
Yeah, definitely. That's interesting. I never really thought of that term phasing, but it makes sense. Just the process of the trough moving.
Yep. Well, temperatures are definitely starting to come down more. 33 in Gainesville now. We got these are as of 10 o'clock, so it definitely is updating once an hour. 33 out here in Commerce, 35 in Athens, 34 in Lawrenceville, 36 there in Brookhaven, 35 out here in Monroe. So temperatures are coming down, but I think it will still be around midnight when we're actually below freezing. But I mean, right now it doesn't really matter because we don't have any moisture. You know, we have very little moisture. We have a little bit more moving in from the west. This will still probably stay rain for us, but this could be turned into freezing rain as it moves off to the east-northeast. We could start seeing some more freezing rain developing here, I'd say north of Athens, where it's 33, 32 degrees. Right. So we'll have to keep an eye on this little blob of moisture here west of Atlanta to see what it does east of Atlanta here in the next little bit. Because, again, look at this, even this blob moisture here that we had, seeing it changing over to some freezing rain here, maybe between on Highway 60 between Gainesville and Dahlonega up toward Claremont. Starting to see some of that change over. See if we've got any. I'm going to check a radar scope real quick, see if there's any reports on here.
Yeah. Definitely interesting setup. Everything considered, it's very interesting for sure.
Let's come back over here to. So this is a look at radar scope. So yeah, we can see there is maybe a little bit of changeover starting to occur in some of these places. Like up here near Dahlonega, even here near Woodstock. I mean, it's showing maybe a little bit. But again, that where the radar is down here in Peachtree City, so probably where the radar beam is hitting up here, it's freezing rain, but down at the surface, if it's still above freezing, it's going to melt back into, just turn into rain.
Yeah.
But we're getting closer to seeing this this freezing rain develop here, especially north and east of the city. I think we're maybe another hour or so away. Nick, are you still on here with us? You're up in Woodstock, I believe. I'm not sure if he's still here or not, but I was going to ask him if he is, if what it's like out there with this little band of moisture that's just moving through there in Woodstock. If he's actually getting any freezing rain there at the surface. It's 36 degrees here where I'm at, but the feels like temperature is 27. 36, wow. Feel like 27.
That is chilly, sir.
Yeah, we're supposed to drop down to 32 degrees here at 11 o'clock, 31 by midnight, 30 by 1 a.m. Is the current thinking? See what they're thinking as far as totals. Okay, so they've updated our ice accumulation for, at least the Weather Channel has. They've actually upped our ice accumulation forecast again back to 0.37 inches, max wind gusts of 30 miles per hour. Power disruption, moderate potential. So, yeah, we might be starting to see this change over to freezing rain here in the next hour, Rob.
Yes, sir. We might definitely.
Give me just a minute. I'm gonna step away here for a second, Rob. I don't know if you want to
Okay.
share your screen and take a look at some stuff.
Yeah, I'll do. I'll
No,
go ahead and do that.
that'd be great.
Yeah.
I'll flip
Let me
over
get
to you
my.
here. I wish Nick was still on here. I want to know if he's getting some freezing rain there in Woodstock, man.
Yeah. I went ahead and got the civil weather obvious plan.
Perfect. All right, let me share you. Give me just a second, Rob. All right, and there we go.
Oh, look at that, quarter of an inch.
Is that the new run?
Yep.
Yeah. Do they have the onesie run out yet, or is that still coming out?
This is the Tuesday, actually.
Well, that's the Tuesday. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so definitely the estimates have
Newest.
gone. Go back to the 00Z. Look at what the 00Z was. You'll see that it was lower. Give it a second to load up.
Oh yeah,
See?
look at that.
Look at the difference between the 00Z and the 2Z. So yeah, we're definitely and again, that's the thing with these ice storms. It just literally changes hour by hour. 1 hour you're like, "Oh, it's not going to be." And then we have this surge of moisture coming in now as the temperatures are dropping. And we're seeing this change over here from the rain to the freezing rain. Especially yeah, we've got some NPing reports here, Rob. I'm looking at mixed precipitation now falling in Holly Springs, drizzle there west of Woodstock. We've got rain down in Roswell. We're seeing drizzle incoming, rain, freezing rain. Around Sugar Hill being reported. Mixed freezing rain and ice pellets just north of Gainesville. So
wow, look at
yeah, I know that's insane.
northeast Mississippi, man. 1 inch of ice.
Yep, and freezing rain just north of Dahlonega as of 9:54. So that was 30 minutes ago.
Marietta, 0.37.
Yep. That's just on the northwest side of Atlanta.
Yeah.
9:47.
Let's take a look at South Texas.
Freezing rain 10:11 p.m. So yeah, that was like 15 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago there, just on the northwest side of Roswell. So yeah, we're definitely starting to see the changeover, Rob.
Definitely.
Definitely starting to see the changeover. I'll be right back.
All right. Look at that. That'll be so cool. Just looking at the snow here, I mean, got almost. I mean, look down here at State College. Wow, it's doing. Look down here at State College. I mean, 10 inches of snow. Clarion 11. Hazleton almost 12. I mean, New York City, you got about 10 inches of snow. Um, Waterbury, Connecticut, Albany. This is just in the next, I think, 12 hours, I believe. So, yeah, I mean, definitely could get some decent snowfall here tomorrow. Let's look at look at wow, look at that. Cincinnati, Ohio, 13 inches of snow. Evansville, 13.6. Carbondale, Illinois. Cape Girardeau, 12 inches a foot. Man, I mean, I mean, look at this compared to like yesterday around this time. I mean, we were seeing way more snow, I think, for that southern Kentucky, I believe. So, um, that's not going to show it. Give me a second, guys. It's still loading. Give it a few seconds. But yeah, I mean, definitely interesting to see how it's changed since yesterday. You look at that. Way more snow for Kentucky for yesterday compared to today. I mean, look at today. I mean, way different. Everything's looks like the snow track kind of went north here, as you can see. I mean, let me see Indianapolis. Let me look at that. I want to see how much Indianapolis is going to get. So there's Indianapolis right there. Wow, 10 inches of snow forecasted. Dayton 15, Bloomington 16, Terre Haute 11. In Chicago getting a couple inches as well. Gary 2 inches. I mean, just really interesting here. So let's see. How about ice? I don't think ice is gonna be a big concern up here. Could get some ice though. Yeah, I mean mostly south. So yeah, we'll have to see if this all verifies here. I mean, it definitely could, especially with that big narrow section of just heavy snowfall. I mean, look at 16 inches, 16, 14. I mean, this narrow corridor all the way from Cape Girardeau all the way up to Dayton, Ohio, just 1 foot plus the snowfall possibly. So definitely gonna be interesting to see. Let's go take a look at the radar here. I'm gonna get that up to kind of take a look at what we got going on right now. As you can see here, I mean, we still got snow falling as you look. We got some mixed precipitation, some freezing rain. If you're in, the Boonville area here in Arkansas, you're getting some pretty decent, freezing rain. Got some sleet otherwise in parts of Oklahoma. Looks like, parts of Tulsa getting some pretty decent snowfall. So definitely going to be keeping an eye on that. They're expecting more snow here throughout the evening, kind of tapering off to the west. Looks like, let me make sure that's the case. Actually, no, there's some more coming in. Over here near Pampa and Texas is going to be getting some more snow as well up here in the Panhandle. As you can see here, you got these areas here near Canyon and Clarendon, Memphis, Wellington. All these areas are going to be seeing some pretty decent snowfall. I had to say probably between 4 and 10 inches, possibly. Maybe less than that. I'd probably say around 10 inches, probably for some areas. And then you have over here in Dallas, you got some, mixed precipitation as well. You got some sleet, you got some freezing rain. So if you're in Dallas right now, you're definitely experiencing some of that freezing rain. Temperatures. Let's take a look. Welcome back, Joey.
Hey, Rob, I am back. Yeah, Dallas is
Welcome.
really starting to get in on some pretty big stuff there. It
Yeah,
looks like with that sleet and freezing rain.
look at that. Richardson, North Richland, Mesquite. I mean, that's just very messy. All that Fort Worth getting some sleet
Is
right
that a
now.
is that a new mesoscale discussion there? Looks like it,
Um,
or is that an older one?
it's a little old. It's a
Okay.
little old, yeah. This mix of freezing rain and sleet continued through the evening. Periods of sleet and freezing rain across north central Texas and the southeastern Oklahoma into western Arkansas. Freezing rain accumulations have been around is a hundredth of an inch per hour or less. Wow.
Mm.
Dallas Metro about a tenth to 5/10 of an inch per hour freezing rain. Wow. So they're getting that sleet and freezing rain over there. It looks like that wintry mix.
Yep. Who's out there in Dallas
Buffalo.
right now? Oh, Nick Busby. He's out there. Oh yeah, it's definitely got some snow out there.
Definitely. Yeah, you can see a little corridor of snow here, down here near Ennis and Heartland and Terrell, that area. So, yeah. Even Saunders is over there.
Mm-hmm.
Al Gore. Yeah, there's a couple of chases over there. Take a look over here where you're at. See what's going on near where you are.
We've got a little bit of rain moving in, but we're still above freezing right now.
Yeah.
But up
Mostly
north
rain.
of Gainesville, it's freezing rain up there. Yeah. Dahlonega,
Look at that.
Cleveland, over toward Toccoa.
Yep. See.
Because those temperatures are definitely coming down.
Yeah, wow, look at that. Look how messy that is. That's all freezing rain, this whole entire area.
What radar is that?
This
Greenville?
is yes, I believe so. Morrisville, Morristown.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a mess there.
You can look over here. You got some over here near Charlotte. Got some mixed precip. Greenville. There's Greenville. Yeah. Oh, look at that. South Carolina getting some of that.
Yep.
It's just a very big mess is what I have to call this system, honestly. I mean, a lot of places are gonna have issues with frozen structures and frost on trees and branches and all that.
Yeah, I'm just interested when we were looking at the 02 model run earlier, seeing our precipitation totals coming back up here in Georgia, which is, again, that's why you can't let your guard down, because it's like, oh, it's looking better, and oh, now it's looking back to what it was,
Right. Yeah.
So my forecast for 4/10, my forecast for 4/10 of an inch might be pretty much right spot on. Maybe
it might be.
That's what I've been basically saying for the last 2 days. Where I live around here, I think we're going to get under half an inch, but more than a quarter of an inch, somewhere between 3/10 and 4/10, enough to do some damage.
Northeast.
I'm in southern Gwinnett County. There, that big county that your mouse is over. Yeah, I'm right there, right about there. It's like that, right there. Yeah, basically right around 3/10. Yeah. So
we'll see what happens. I mean,
I just can't believe how much is supposed to go up there north of Gainesville. That's just still blowing my mind.
I know. Look at that.
Seeing those 8/10 of an inch, that's gonna cause some serious damage up there.
Oh yeah, Blue Ridge Mountain area all up here. I mean,
yep.
That whole corridor, Greenville. I mean, almost half of an inch.
Yeah, what's the Greenville? Upstate South Carolina.
Yeah, Rock Hill. I want to look at North Carolina, Virginia. Take a look at that. Oh, look at that. Greensboro.
Yeah, a lot of quarter of an inch.
Yeah.
To half an inch.
Wow.
I mean, even look at Roanoke. Yeah, that's those mountains up there. That's what I'm saying. On top of the mountains is going to be terrible.
Very bad. Richmond, Order pretty much same as Atlanta Metro.
Yeah.
Raleigh. I mean, yeah, a lot of this area is going to get a lot of freezing rain. And there's places that look out like Johnson City and Knoxville that looks like almost nothing. So there's definitely some dry spots. I mean, Eastern Kentucky is gonna have some issues too. Look at that Pike, just west of Pikeville, that big swath of just almost 3/4 of an inch. Wow. Let's look at snow. Yeah, wow. Look, 8 inches of snow. Maysville, 10 inches. I want to look at Ohio. I wanted to show you that while you were going. Ohio just looks. I mean,
Oh
wow.
yeah. 14 inches there in
Canton,
Columbus in the next 18 hours.
15 in Dayton.
Yeah.
Yeah, 13 in Cincinnati. I mean, you don't see that every day. I mean, obviously it's gonna be layer up here near Toledo and Cleveland, but that's still a good amount of snow. 8 inches is that's decent. Fort Wayne, Muncie, and Pittsburgh almost a foot. So Ohio Valley definitely have a big snow day tomorrow and tonight. Let's look at New York again. Pennsylvania actually. Let's look at Pennsylvania. I think Central PA and Southern PA is gonna have a lot of snow. That's what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Still loading. But yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow. I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty still with how much freezing rain, like you were saying. It's kind of hard to predict.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see.
Yes, we will see. I mean, look at this
Oh, there you go. Now
this cold air that
wow.
that comes in here.
Look at that.
Oh yeah, up there in Pennsylvania.
I mean, 16 inches of snow in southern Pennsylvania. It's in the mountains over there. Altoona, State College. I
I've
mean,
been up
that's a
there
lot of
before. It's a nice area.
You have?
Yeah, I've been up there before.
It's neat, man. It's neat. Yeah. The new Zero 03 should be coming out here in the next 20 minutes. Right? I think. So let's take a look at New England.
Now, hold on there, Rob. I think there we go.
You're good.
I got you back. I was like, wait a minute, I lost my Discord.
Still loading here. But yeah,
Oh.
I mean, see what happens. Like
you
I
may
said,
you may not see the ton up there because you only got what 18 hours, so it's not even going to capture the full event. So
yeah, that's true.
that's fine. Let's come back. I'm gonna switch over back to me here.
All right, cool.
We're definitely starting to see definitely more freezing rain filling in here in North Carolina, especially east of Charlotte.
One thing that we can look at is the hazard map. It probably has changed since the last time we looked at it.
Yeah, so you
Not
can
a
see
lot,
the ice storm warnings. All those winter storm watches got upgraded to winter weather advisories, which is that light purple down there, and also to the north, like up near Chicago and those areas. And then we got winter storm warnings, and then winter weather advisory up in the northern side of Maine up there. And then we have those extreme cold warnings down there in South Texas.
Yeah. Freeze warnings and watches, which is basically what you were saying, cold. change. But yeah, I mean, this whole swath, all the way from basically New Mexico to Maine, just winter weather everywhere. Somewhere in this whole area, pink and blue and purple. I mean, look how many ice storm warnings there are. I mean, all the way
Yeah, I
from
was
like
interesting
San Antonio, Austin.
seeing them add that one out there in yeah, the Austin area. When they added that, I was like, "Oh wow."
Yeah, that was
But
definitely not expected.
look at this, Rob. The radar here out there, you can see why they issued that ice storm warning. You know, it's
Look at that. Yeah.
you know it's happening
Yeah.
out there. You know, in Austin and San Antonio, those areas, they're
It sure is. Yeah.
getting a ton of ice right now. You know,
They really are, man. Yeah.
so
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at temperatures right now, and
they're in the 20s
it's
there in Austin.
yeah, yeah. I mean, very cold. Yep.
Meanwhile,
Teens
here
up
we're
near Dallas.
still in the 30s here in Georgia. It is coming down though.
Wow.
It's
Yeah,
already
it sure
32
is.
out there in Winder. That's about 45 minutes, 40 minutes from where I'm at.
Up where Jeff is, it's 9 degrees.
What about where Dan's at up in Wisconsin? Dan's sitting at like
Let's see how cold it is.
-3. He's at like -3 right now.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, it's cold up there. Minnesota, you got almost negative double digits. Yeah, you do actually. Up near Northfield and east of Minneapolis.
Yep.
A lot of
-16, -18.
yeah.
And up in the Arrowhead, you're at like -20 in some parts there.
And Duluth, you got almost, what is that, negative 11. So
It's definitely the middle of winter.
Dakotas. Yeah, definitely.
Except for you, 70 degrees there in Tampa right now. 73
Yeah.
over near
It's warm
Brandon,
down
you know,
here. Yeah.
just south of
I
that
agree.
stationary front. That stationary front, you know, just north of you guys, it's in the 60s, you know. Like
Yeah, nice
Gainesville,
weather up
it's
there.
58 in Gainesville, and down there in Tampa, it's 70.
I know. It's such a big contrast. Hey, also, I just saw this. You got some wind advisories up here near Panhandle and southeastern Alabama. So that's that gusty wind I was talking about or today for tomorrow.
Well, yeah,
It's that
that's what
LLJ starts to.
yeah, I know I was talking about that earlier too. Um,
Yeah.
I just updated this here. High
And
wind
that's basically where
warning.
the slight risk is.
Where there's also a high wind warning up in the Smokies. You know,
Oh yeah, I see that.
southeast winds 20 to 40 miles per hour with gusts up to 70 miles per hour expected.
Wow.
Smoky Mountains, severe Smoky Mountain, all Smoky Mountains. So this is in effect till 7 p.m. Sunday. So you have to think
if
of
they
the
have-
ice and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then once those winds pick
Yeah.
up, it's going to blow down all the trees and power lines out there. Locally, higher
Yeah,
wind
it's
gusts up
bad.
to 90 miles per hour are expected across the highest elevations of the foothills, such as Cove Mountain.
That's wow. I mean, imagine if we had a more southern like track to the system. They could have been under a blizzard warning with all that.
Yeah. That's
If
just
they had more snow.
that's
You know what I mean?
scary there, man. Up here in
Yeah.
the Smokies, Great Smoky Mountains National Park. That does include the Gatlinburg area, by the way.
Yeah, it
They are
does.
in that Mount LeConte. That I've been up there. Chimney Rocks and all
Yeah.
that.
I remember Mike's weather page was posting pictures when he went up there snow chasing a month or so ago.
Yep.
Yeah. They get pretty good snow around this time of year up there. Good
Oh yeah.
skiing, I'm sure.
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
over in western North Carolina near like Boone and Beach Mountain and all those areas there.
Mhm.
That
Yeah.
is, you can get some good skiing weather up there. It's just something I haven't ever really done.
Yeah, and you're near
So,
it. I mean, you're not too far from it.
oh yeah. No, I'm 4 hours away.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like a 4 hour
It's
drive.
it's close.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely going to be doing live stream tomorrow for sure. But
Yeah. I'll be around.
I'm probably going to wrap this one up here in a little bit so I can
Sounds
get
good.
some sleep before I got to get up in the morning because I want to get up at a good time tomorrow
Right.
with everything that we got going on.
Yeah. Gonna be a long night for some folks over there in Mississippi Valley
Yeah, for sure.
and Ohio Valley. Tomorrow.
Yep.
Hopefully by now everybody up there in Kentucky and in Tennessee got their everything ready by today. I'd say earlier today, probably yesterday, probably if I'd say everything
Yeah,
planned.
exactly. I mean, this is what it looks like right now out on the roads. Obviously, the roads are already wet. So as soon as that temperature starts dropping below freezing, we're going to see a lot of this freeze. And that's going to be black ice by tomorrow morning.
Where is that at?
This is here in Atlanta, just on the east side of Atlanta.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, look at that. You could see like the some of the rain there in the road.
Yep. So, I mean
Yeah,
in a
definitely not cold enough for it to freeze yet.
yeah, no, but by tomorrow morning it'll be frozen,
Yeah.
cuz it'll be 28 degrees. So, I
Oh yeah,
mean,
definitely.
it's definitely going to be slick out there tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Be like a glaze of ice, definitely.
Yeah. See what things
Oh,
are like up here in Gainesville.
wow. Yeah, they're gonna get pretty decent ice up there in Northeast Georgia, man. From what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
We should look at the
That's
you got to send me stuff.
985. This is Interstate 985 up here near Gainesville.
Oh wow.
It's definitely there we go. Now you can see a little bit better.
Yeah.
It's tough to see some of these cameras, man.
Yeah, it's very low quality, but that's all right.
But still looks okay. Not nearly
Yeah.
as wet.
Uh,
Probably because it's just
No.
now raining out here. The nice thing is we have a
Yeah.
ton of cameras here. Let me add in. I'm going to show this. This is kind of cool. I think I can.
Yeah, there's a decent amount of hazmat or has cams over there. I see that now.
Mm-hmm. This is GDOT, Georgia Department of Transportation. So I mean, out here down 78, this is just down the road from where I'm at. I don't even know if this camera's gonna work. I've had some struggles with some of these cameras on 78.
Yeah.
It's like the picture works, but then when I try and go and play the video, it's like,
Doesn't want to
spinning
do
circle.
it. Yeah. There's a lot of has cams up in Tennessee too.
Mm-hmm. So this will be a super useful resource tomorrow
Yeah,
because we
definitely.
can basically be able to check cameras anywhere around the area. You know, in many
Oh, you
areas.
you using the GDOT? I thought you were using the radar
No,
weather-wise.
it's
That's a good resource there.
yeah, Georgia Department of Transportation.
It's a great website to look at the conditions tomorrow morning.
Mm-hmm.
I have to look at that when I get up tomorrow.
The annoying thing is sometimes I feel like half the. Here, I'll send it to you,
Yeah.
or you can just go to.
Yeah.
Yep, I'll drop it in the chat here for you.
Yeah, there you
You'll
go.
like this.
One for each state, like Tennessee, Kentucky, North Carolina, all that.
There you go, Rob.
Thank you.
So you can
Appreciate
save
that.
that. That covers all of Georgia. Um, Not too worried about Alabama. But there's a ton of
Got
these
it.
different sites out here. There's one that I've been keeping an eye on
Fir-
too. Is some of these Mississippi ones here. Wow, look
yeah.
at this.
First thing I I go on the website, it says emergency alert, ice storm warning. You think?
Look at that. That's
What?
out. That's out where my in-laws are
Wow, look
at.
at
Look at
that.
the icicles. Look at the icicles on the camera.
Yeah, they're freezing. You see that? Wow. And look at
Look at
all,
the
is
power
that
lines.
sleet?
You can see the power lines. Yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
That
That's a good camera you got there.
yeah. That's like
Where is that
two
at?
that's out in Mississippi. This is like 2 minutes from my in-laws' house out there in Greenville, Mississippi.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
they got
cool.
a lot of ice accumulation already out here. Still have power though, so that's good. But definitely some
See what, see
difficult
what-
driving out there. Look at that guy trying to make that turn there. It's like, yeah.
I'm probably gonna look at a lot of the cameras up in Northeast Georgia tomorrow.
Yeah.
See how the ice is looking. Let's look at. Oh, there's Ashland. See what they look like right now. Yeah, that's cool though.
Yep. I want to see kind of what it's like up here near Oxford and some of these areas here.
Yeah. I'm gonna go look at some Dallas cams on Texas.
That's honestly, it is icy on the road, but it's not completely covered there. There, that's around Tupelo. Come over here to Oxford. Oh yeah.
Texas is
Okay, there's Oxford for you. But you can see
maps.
they've plowed right there. You know,
Yeah.
so it's like they've got a lane, one lane each direction. But they definitely have gotten a lot of sleet. Picked up a lot
Oh
of sleet
yeah, definitely.
up there in Oxford.
Where's Dallas? There it is.
Yeah, it's like, of course you know where that is there.
Yeah, definitely.
Candace was commenting in the chat when we were looking at that camera there in Mississippi. I want to go back to that. Look at this camera
Can I
down
show you a
here.
camera I'm looking at?
Yeah, give me a second here.
This is just southwest of Irving, Texas, in the Dallas metro, kind of. Let me show you my camera
All right, give me a second
or
here,
my
Rob.
screen. I mean,
Let me know
you're good.
when.
All right, there you go.
There we go.
Enlarge this.
Give me a second here. Oh yeah,
Look at that.
yeah. It's definitely covered out there.
Oh yeah, you can definitely see the snow accumulating. Yeah,
Is
look at
that
that.
20? I think so. I
Let me
think that
see.
is.
Yeah, that's I-20.
Yep.
Near Arlington. Let's see over here. Hey man, look at that. Wow. Decent cameras over here too.
Yeah.
And
So again, really good resource to be able to check on things throughout the day tomorrow.
look at Amarillo, see what they look like. Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is a good resource just to look at, what the conditions are.
Yep. And you
Just
can
love
also
it.
like be able to see if an area, obviously has power or not and stuff like that. But man, these
Yeah,
icicles
exactly.
out here in Mississippi on
I know that was crazy.
this is just crazy. Yeah, I still can't get over that. That's some of the most ice I've seen so far, and
Yeah,
that's where they're obviously supposed to get some of the
there you
highest
go.
ice totals out there.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, where's is that in
That's
Texas?
that's an Amarillo.
Amarillo.
Amarillo, yep.
So
Getting some decent snow over there. Yeah. Okay, let's go down here near the. Yeah, I mean they're definitely getting some decent accumulation down there. I just want to show you some of Texas because
yeah,
they're get they're getting some good snow over there now.
so. Well, Rob, I appreciate you hopping on the live stream with me tonight, and we've got a big day tomorrow covering the winter storms and everything that's going on out there. So,
Definitely.
thanks for hopping on.
No problem, man. Thank you.
So, folks, thank you, Rob. We've got a big day tomorrow. We'll be back here live streaming throughout the day here on Extreme Weather Videos. So make sure to tune in and stay safe out there. Hopefully, we'll have power in the morning when we wake up. I think we will. I think we will hopefully be able to keep it through most of the day tomorrow. That's the hope, right? So, but stay safe out there. Get some rest, and we will be back here with you all tomorrow covering Winter Storm Fern here from Georgia, here in Atlanta, Georgia. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a great rest of your evening.